Aloha Mustangs Nation, welcome into your St. Joseph Mustangs pregame show here out on the party deck in right field. Sun shining, another beautiful weather for a game tonight on a Saturday evening, finishing up week 3 of your Mustangs summer. Jackson Phelps, Truman Greasel, Hawaiian shirt giveaway tonight. So fans, guests, make sure you come out to Phil Welch. Be one of the first fans so you can get one of your own St. Joseph Mustangs branded Hawaiian shirts. But Jackson, the Mustangs are off to one of the most incredible starts we've seen, not just in Mink League history, but in St. Joseph Mustang history. And they have had good teams in the past, but this team is on right now a historic pace, 10-1 and 6-0 to start the Mink League play.
Historic is a way to put it, Truman. This team is special. We've gotten to see guys like Logan Miller, who we've just been mentioning throughout the days past, leads this team in hits, and they've really started to develop this lineup, and we keep mentioning that, some guys come in and out, differences in the lineups every single night. Some guys get to sit, some guys come in, but throughout those substitutions, there really isn't a loss with these players. A guy can come in and fill another guy's spot easily, and that is something that happens really well with a winning team, and we're seeing that now. Only one loss on the season to those Monarchs, but other than that, these Mustangs are red hot, and they're ready to keep on winning.
And you mentioned one of the most red-hot bats in the Mustangs order right now at that leadoff spot, Logan Miller. He'll be back there tonight, currently rides a 7-game hitting streak, and he has been the catalyst for why these Mustangs are scoring so many runs night in and night out. He gets on base, he steals the base, gets into scoring position. It just really lights that fuse that is this Mustangs offense just waiting to blow.
It is, and having a guy like that leading off as Miller is really good for the catalyst, like you mentioned, Truman, for the whole entire team. The whole team, guys like McCollum and Darius Freeman, Luke Hart are just so good on the base paths, getting around and putting the Mustangs in position to score with runners in scoring position. We've seen that so many times in those 2-strike, 2-out counts where the Mustangs seem to be the most comfortable. And with runners in scoring position, these Mustangs have been so red hot, and having guys, we say it on the broadcast all the time, creating chaos on those base paths has just been another thing these Mustangs have been really good at against these Mink opponents and against teams like the Monarchs. And in the alumni game, it was a little bit more of like I would say not like a real game, but we got to see these Mustangs come out and really, put bat to ball. And this team has been so good at doing it in all assets of the game.
Chaos really has been the catalyst for the Mustangs against their opponents. But one of the big things, they score a bunch of runs, but then they're able to keep that lead. Yeah. And it's guys that walk through that bullpen gate just to our left and right center field. Whoever comes through that bullpen into the game to take over for the starter just comes in, and you have high confidence, and Johnny Coy has high confidence that guy is going to throw up a zero and just pitch to the best of his ability.
You really like to have a bullpen like this group has this year. That we've been talking about the bats all season long, but just even to start the season out, we were talking about this bullpen being the main factor for this Mustangs, and they've continued to do that. Now the bats have started to heat up, so it's giving them more comfortability, not having to rely on the bullpen as much. Harrington last night went 5 solid innings, and guys coming out of the bullpen, guys like Andrew Clark, Bronco Witt, Jace Johnson, they've just been so good in their situations that they've been in. Some come in with jams, some come in with just the start of the inning, and they blow by 1, 2, 3, and having guys like that putting zeros up on the board, inning in and inning out, is something that is really special, and just another reason why this Mustangs team continues to win and why I see nothing else in sight.
It's one of the biggest reasons why they lead the Mink League in ERA, a full 2 runs lower than all the other teams. And finally getting to tonight's game against the Sedalia Bombers, played them on Tuesday, won 6-0, a great start out of Jaron Guck. But tonight, guys in that Sedalia order, especially towards the top, you've got guys like Max Russo, Carter Rice, and Jaden Roberts, all batting well above 350. Those are guys that tonight's starter Sam Pitts, he's going to have to wary of. He's going to have to really pitch those corners, not leave him nothing good over the plate. And if he does pitch them something good, he's got to make sure there's nobody on base. If they do damage, it's only worth 1 run.
Exactly. Last night, the Merchants also came in with some pretty strong hitters, and it just seemed like Harrington just didn't even bother him one bit. Came in like it was any other team. Just did a really good job pounding through the order. And I think tonight it's going to be a really good night for these Mustangs. A guy like Russo last night, 3 hits. These guys got bats, but the way these Mustangs have been pitching with their confidence, that's another thing. Their confidence has definitely blossomed as well as the season has gone on. And I do think that the Mustangs tonight are going to continue to grow that as they're looking for another Mink victory, trying to stay perfect. And tonight they have a great opportunity against Sedalia. Like you mentioned, got the win on Monday, have the upper hand advantage. Have seen this team once, and they know what's coming into Phil Welch tonight.
Final game of this Week 3 homestand, looking to finish the homestand 3-1 before they head out to Clarinda tomorrow and on their first true road trip of the season. Thank you for joining us in your St. Joseph Mustangs pregame show. Jackson Phelps, Truman Greasel, we got Mustangs baseball for you next.
You are watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. We are coming to you live from Phil Welch Stadium, where it was Hawaiian shirt giveaway night, and players will be wearing specialty pink jerseys celebrating and honoring breast cancer awareness. As we welcome you in here, the finale of the Week 3 homestand here for your Mustangs. They come in 10-1 on the year and 6-0 in the Mink League. Alongside me tonight, Jackson Phelps. I am Truman Greasel. As Jackson, it's the finale of a homestand, and these Mustangs, we talked about it on that pregame show. They're off to a red-hot start, but they welcome a Sedalia team that the Bombers come in 4-5, but losers of 4 straight and looking to get right.
They really are, but what a tough test it's going to be tonight against these Mustangs. Coming in off of a 6-5 loss against Chillicothe last night. The Mustangs have actually played Sedalia this week, Truman, as we mentioned, losing 6-0 against these Mustangs. And if you're wanting to get on a good start, the last place you want to be is here in Phil Welch, because these Mustangs right now are playing so well at home. Just the one away game against Sedalia. They're going to go on their first away road trip coming up this weekend. But Mustangs are hot. Pitching is red hot as well, and just all assets of this game have really come to bloom and really come to, a lot of maturity on both sides of the baseball, offensively and defensively. You just got to love to see it. These Mustangs are red hot, and there is no short stop of this winning.
Back on Tuesday, the Mustangs won 6-0 back in Sedalia. They held the Bombers to no runs on 6 hits as Jaron Guck went 6 shutout innings, only gave up 4 hits, struck out 5, and walked 1. And then the combination of Bronco Witt, Diego DeSantiago, and Cade Perkins shut down the Bombers in the final 3 frames. The Bombers only had 2 hits those final 3 frames. But talking back at the Mustangs, their offense has just been red hot, on fire. 10 runs last night, 10 runs the night before that. It seems like Jackson scoring in the double digits of the runs has just become the normal for this Mustang squad.
It really has, and especially for some reason in the Mink League, that was their 3rd run rule of the season, and they just really, there is no stoppage. In this game, they could go up 4 runs in the first 4 couple of innings. Gundelfinger made it 4-0 back last night with his home run, and there's no stopping. They get base runners on, and they figure out ways to score. We saw some sacrifice flies, some pass balls with the runners on those scoring position threats. Darius Freeman's going to be batting designated hitter tonight, a little bit difference in the outfield defensively as well. We've been mentioning on that pregame show where defensively, just this Mustangs team mixes it up, I feel like, every single game, but guys can fill in those spots so easily. because this team is so versatile. They can do the game so many different ways. And tonight it'll be a different type of look with Freeman a designated hitter. And we'll get a good look at what the Mustangs can bring against their second matchup against the Bombers tonight.
And it really hasn't mattered what Mink League opponents have thrown out there on the mound. The Mustangs have capitalized off all, as Bombers starter Grayson Robertson will have a tough job, as the Mustangs scored 6 runs off Carroll Merchant's starter last night. Then back on Wednesday, they scored 5 runs off the Chillicothe Mudcats starter. It just seems like they have just been getting to these starters, and again, pitching and playing to their strengths. Getting a lead has allowed their pitchers to flourish, and then when they get that lead, that bullpen comes in and shuts it down. But then just creating chaos, like we always say. They will find ways to get on base. Haven't seen the power surge yet. Couple of doubles, triples here and there, couple homers. But so far this team is all about the singles and stolen bases and just finding a way to drive in runs. Starting lineups are getting finally announced. We will step aside. First pitch right up next. So we get a look tonight at your Mustangs start. It'll be Sam Pitts from Cochise Community College, making his 3rd start of the summer. Has yet to receive a decision in 7 innings. He went 3 innings his last time out in that alumni game. Does an ERA at 9, as he's really the only starter that has gotten hit around a little bit. Home runs hurt him in his first start, and then the plethora of hits in his last start, but still 9 strikeouts to 5 walks. So he will blow you away. Opponents are hitting .300 against him.
Yeah, you know, Pitts, I mean, he's not really the biggest strikeout guy. I mean, again, going back to that pregame show that we had, just talking about Pitts a little bit. Yeah, not the biggest guy to blow these hitters by with his fastballs. Not really a guy to get those strikeouts, but he definitely puts that ball in play. In the defense, you got to love a guy like Pitts. You know, just not afraid to attack the zones of hitters. Sometimes it bites him the wrong way. But I feel like more than often recently, I mean, this defense has been able to trust him a little bit more. Just tonight, he's just got to focus on his side of the fundamentals, just pitch and strikes, but don't get too comfortable with these Bombers hitters, you know, because it's a newer team that he's had to face so far. So can't get too comfortable on the mound so far in these first couple of innings. But looking for a good outing from him, and eager to see what he's got for us on the mound.
Now we get a look at that Bombers lineup, which he will face. It's a Bombers lineup unlike the Mustangs, which it seems like every night is just a little bit tweaked. Been the same lineup more or less throughout this summer so far. Jaden Roberts in the leadoff spot, Carter Rice, followed by Dalton Miller and Connor Rice. That top four is a lethal one. Then you have Ethan Kruger in shortstop, Sam Russo, and then Caden Paxton, Will Munch, and Lance Vickers round out the Bombers order here tonight. It's those Mustangs in those special pink uniforms that will be auctioned off. So if you're in the area or at the game here and listening to our stream, go over and bid. Get your favorite player's pink jersey. Bombers are in their road blacks with white and blue outlines in the white pants. Both teams choosing to wear the white pants. As the umpires are ready, Pitts is ready, and Jaden Roberts is ready as here we go on a beautiful Saturday night here in St. Joe to close out the week and close out the homestand. And it's a first pitch strike to start Pitts' evening.
Yeah, good start there. Off speed, likely seen from Pitts. Wanted to see if he went with that fastball, but a good start by him with that off speed. Really plated it well, and we'll have to see if he wants to rely on that one a couple more times here in this at-bat.
Roberts up in every offensive category, but the only one he leads this team in is 2 hit-by pitches. He's out of Dickinson State. Before that, he attended Dawson Community College. He's already exercised the transfer portal. 357 hitter so far. A dangerous leadoff hitter at that, and Pitts already has him down 1-2. Roberts hit .215 in 44 games for the Hawks this past spring. That one off the end of the bat. Cut off, and a nice play by Felix. Spinning throw, and he gets him. Dom Felix showing off the range to retire the first hitter of the night.
That's such a tough play to make from Felix. A shallow hit in the infield. All he had to do, he cut off Mosh a little bit, but Mosh was too far deep, so Felix really had to take over. And full 360 into a crossbody throw. One of the toughest throws to make as a third baseman, but a nice job by Felix getting that first out.
Now it'll be Carter Rice. Another dangerous hitter at this top of the Bomber lineup. A Bomber lineup that is definitely top-heavy. As Rice right behind Roberts with a .355 average. Leads this team with 3 doubles, 11 hits, and 31 at-bats. He's at the DHing duties tonight. Like many of these Bombers from Sedalia, Rice attends State Fair Community College right there in Sedalia. He was 1 for 5 with a run and an RBI last night against Chillicothe. That fastball swung on and missed. The count evens at 2-2.
I mean, nice job by Pitts there. Really doesn't rely on that fastball like I mentioned, but a nice job there. Being down in the count 2-1. Really just piped it on the outside part of the plate, giving Rice no room to get a barrel.
Now a breaking ball. Couldn't hold up enough, and it's the first strikeout of the night for Pitts. And the victim is Carter Rice. 2 quick outs here in the first.
Love the confidence from Pitts so far. Not afraid to put those fastballs right in those wheelhouse for these hitters. But he's getting some velo here to start this game, Truman, and it's given these 2 first Bombers hitters a tough time to really get around on them.
Definitely coming out, throwing gas. As that adrenaline is now Dalton Miller steps in with nobody on, and 2 out. Miller was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts when these 2 teams faced on Tuesday. First year with Sedalia. That one lined to center. Takes Miller to his right, but he's there to make the catch, and it's 3 up, 3 down on the top of the first for Sam Pitts. Nobody left, no hits, no runs. We're headed to the bottom of the first. It'll be Miller, Freeman, and Lukehart for your Mustangs. Bottom of the first, here was a 1-2-3 top of the first for the Bombers. As now we get a look at their starter tonight. Grayson Robertson making his first start in the black and blue. Comes to Sedalia from Allen Community College. This past spring, he appeared through 9 2/3 innings, had a bit of a bloated 13.97 ERA. And then the wrong end of the fraction, 6 strikeouts to 17 walks as opponents were batting just shy of 450 against Robertson, as he'll look to try and extinguish this flaming hot Mustangs lineup, which we get a look at now. Same top 3, top 4 as last night. Logan Miller, Darius Freeman, Braden Lukehart, and Dom Felix, as those 4 have really anchored this top of the order. And then that middle is Jack Moss, Trevor McCollum, and Parker Griffith getting back to his catching duties after getting the night off last night. And then rounded out by Jaden Little at first and Truman Bodenhausen back at second base. We talked about it in the pregame. Logan Miller is one of, if not the hottest Mustang hitter. A 7-game hit streak, leads this team with 12 hits as he's first pitch swinging. Grounding it to Kruger on a quick transfer. And it's 1 pitch, 1 out to start Robertson's evening.
You know, I like the aggressiveness from Miller. You know, he's definitely trying to get after for that 8th game hit streak. Just was a little bit out in front. Just put it on the ground easy for Kruger. Nice play by Kruger. I mean, he had to pick it up on a short play there and got it across the arm, so it was a good play over there by Kruger at short. I'll bring up Dom Felix.
Now it'll be the Central Methodist University man, Darius Freeman. Freeman leads this team with 11 RBIs and 7 stolen bases. Those 7 stolen bases also top of the Mink. First time we see him at the designated hitter role this season. Has played a majority of his games out and right. We've seen a couple in center. We've also seen some fantastic plays out there in that outfield.
And it looks like the second time that over there on the mound that Roberts just could not see that ball coming in from the sun. So that's given him some issues. But yeah, Freeman's just definitely not a guy, like we mentioned last night, that you do not want to get up early in the count with, as he is, with those stolen bases and the way that he managed the base paths last night, he's definitely a threat.
He's swinging 2-0, flying one out to left. Russo's back a few steps, and he'll squeeze it for the second out. And Jackson, you talk about that sun. I mean, we were out in the field earlier, but at this point in the evening, that sun is right above the roof here that covers the grandstand area. So you'll watch that shadow. I mean, you can see it is right there at the base of the mound. So not only is it tough for the pitcher and the fielders and the outfielders to see the ball, but it's also, you know, coming from a sunlight to more of a shaded area for those hitters. Also tough for them, and we'll watch as that shadow will slowly get bigger and bigger as the sun goes down this evening. It's now Braden Lukehart, who's swinging 1-0, and he'll pop it up. Straightaway center to Roberts. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Robertson. Both teams go 1-2-3. No one's scored yet. No one's even out of base runners. We're through one here at Phil Welch as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. Both teams went 1, 2, 3 in the first as we get a look tonight at your Mustangs defensive lineup. From left to right in that outfield, it's Trevor McCollum, Logan Miller, and Braden Lukehart. Then the infield, Dom Felix in the hot corner, Jack Mosh and Truman Bodenhausen man the middle, and Jane Little back at first base. And then your battery is Sam Pitts and Parker Griffith.
And like we mentioned, just a lot of, just mixing up between this defense. Mosh and Bodenhausen kind of switch off between that middle infield, kind of outfield role. Felix, man third last night, but then Griffith back behind plate, got a little bit of a rest with Philippi last 2 nights. And that outfield never really changes too much, and now but Freeman, really the only big change in that outfield.
Cleanup hitter Connor Rice gets the Bombers started. Rice, one of the returners, hit .237, had 19 hits and 80 at-bats last season. The local kid attends State Fair Community College. Slow start for him for this summer, only at batting .241. That's 7 hits and 29 at-bats. Does have a double and is also driven in 4. This has been a Bombers team that when they were winning, they were scoring a lot. And then when they entered this losing streak, they couldn't find much runs. That one dribbled right in front of the mound. Tough play for Pitts, and he got him! What a play by the southpaw Pitts, bouncing off the mound to make the twirling play.
I mean, Truman, the last couple of games, we've seen the pitchers on both teams that have come to here to Phil Welch to make some fantastic plays. Pitts had to really get that one off pretty quick, and that left, you said that southpaw, he had to get around all the way across his body, but a great throw for the first out.
That ball died in that infield grass here at Phil Welch, but Pitts beat his battery mate Griffith to the ball. And all in one motion, he grabbed it, spun, and threw an absolute strike to Little over at first, who made a great stretch. Now it'll be Ethan Kruger. No relation to Freddie Kruger, thank goodness.
No kidding.
Hitting .280 on this young summer here in week 3. Attends St. Cloud State University. Originally from Wisconsin, Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, to be specific.
Wauwatosa, never heard of that place up there in Wisconsin.
Definitely sounds Wisconsin-y.
It does. It does.
Before making his way over to St. Cloud State, he played 2 seasons at Rock Valley College in Illinois. Business major is Kruger. looking to get the first base runner of the night for either side. And he will on the walk.
Good at bat from Kruger. Just watched every single pitch all the way through. He stayed really patient. You know, I didn't see any big strides like he was wanting to go after anything. He was just really knowing what pitch was coming after with him and did a good job. And now the first base runner, like you mentioned, for either squad. And we'll see here what the Bombers do with it.
So now it'll be the Bombers' red-hot hitter in Sam Russo coming off a 3-for-5 night in RBI against Chillicothe last night. As that one off the hands just dribbled up to third. The only play for Felix will be to first. And Pitts is able to retire Russo on one pitch.
Another weak ground ball come off the bats of these Bombers and a nice pitch. From pitch, it was an off speed, but just jammed Russo. Looked like he was just trying to get a little check swing around, but it did clip, and it weighted all the way over to Felix. A tough play once again for this infield to make, as that is another shallow hit, but really nice job, and Pitts can kind of get another breather knowing that defense behind him's got his back once again.
This defense has been spectacular for the Mustangs. Very few errors made through 11 games, and talked about that weak contact that Pitts got Russo on. It's been something in his first couple of starts. In his first start, it was more his command. Walks and hit by pitches eventually led to runs. Then in his last start against those alumni, he gave up 7 hits. So far tonight, through 6 hitters. He's definitely had command and limited the hard contact. So it'll now be Caden Paxton, the Windsor, Missouri native. Paxton right at that Mendoza line. 220 at-bats with 4 hits through 9 games for the Bombers. Paxton just finished up his sophomore year, at Hannibal LaGrange University. That one dribbled through the 5-6 hole into left. Here comes Kruger to score, and the Bombers strike first, taking a 1-0 lead.
I mean, the hit and run pulled off to perfection. Kruger was already going off for third. A great jump that he had. He was likely going to be safe. But just an amazing swing put on by Paxton. Really pulled that inside pitch down the third base line. As Felix was already covering third, had no even shot at making a play at that. And Kruger never stopped running. Just a beautiful play there.
It's one of those tough plays for Felix. You don't want to abandon your positioning. It's one of those you might want back. Might have had a chance had he been playing over just a little bit more. Now it'll be the 8-hole hitter, Will Munch, playing right field tonight. He quickly finds himself down 0-2 to Pitts.
Pitchers can't let that stuff eat him up. That was only his first hit of the night. Unlikely that it was an RBI single, but Pitts just needs to really reel in back himself. We saw that sometimes he can get kind of flustered and lost in these types of situations. He's really just got to go back to throwing those strikes that he's been doing.
That one called strike 3 in the upper half on the outside. Munch didn't like it, but it gets Pitts out of the jam, but not before the Bombers strike first. 1 walk, 1 hit in the inning, and 1 run and 1 batter left. We're headed to the bottom of the second. Your Mustangs down 1-0. 4, 5, 6 coming up for your Mustangs here in the second. Finding themselves down early 1-0, but Jackson, I mean, this team has rarely faced a deficit. I mean, their biggest deficit they have faced this season was in a non-league matchup against the Kansas City Monarchs when they faced a 2-run deficit. As there have been Mink League teams that have struck first, but again, it's been usually only one, and the Mustangs usually pounce.
You know, you're exactly right. Those Monarchs, I mean, the only loss these Mustangs have had to face. We mentioned it in the pregame show, just the only team that's really had their way with the Mustangs. But it's, you know, a 10-1 victory this week. They really showed them who's boss. But
now Dom Felix down 0-2 in the count. Back-to-back breaking balls coming from Robertson. Felix 8 for 27, 9 RBIs and 7 walks so far through 11 games, and it's a quick 1-2-3 punch out for Robertson, his first strikeout of the night. It's 4 up, 4 down so far for the Mustangs.
I mean, Robertson's likely telling himself, well, that was too easy. Just 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Felix just trying to get ahead of that fastball, and it looked like he just could never get up and into that zone and try to get the hands around. There's just a couple of late swings that really drove him down, and down 0-2. The confidence was just definitely not there on that last swing, I could tell. But it'll bring up Jack Mosh, another good hitter here for the Mustangs.
Mosh got the night off last night against the Carroll Merchants. 11 for 31 on his season. Tied in the team lead with 4 doubles. Also leads this team with 10 walks. He quickly finds himself in a hitter's count, up 2-0. Mosh from Minnesota University, currently in the transfer portal, just trying to weigh his option and see what schools come a-calling. So far, if this summer's to show anything, it's that he can play at the highest level. Saw limited action at Minnesota, just 9 at-bats in 7 games. He had 2 hits. One of those hits was a homer, though. He also drove in 4. He does not get the green line on 3-0. It stays in a hitter's count, 3-1.
Mosh, you're looking to stay in his wheelhouse now, 3-1. Let's see if he wants to attack.
He elects to take another fastball in the outside corner. Now the count is full. Robertson able to work his way back.
And a shot by Roberts. I mean, 3-0 to the guy who leads the team in walks. Now full count.
Mosh in his last 4 games, 6 for 15 with 4 walks, 2 runs, and 2 RBIs. Has all been at home. So he definitely likes to hit here at Phil Welch. Granted, they've only played 1 road game, so it's really hard to differentiate those road versus home splits, as there is his team-leading 11th walk. Jack Mosh continues to show off the patient eye with a 1-out base runner, the first of the night for your Mustangs.
Mustangs are going to be grateful having Mosh around. I mean, he is just another one of those Mustangs who's not afraid to go the extra 90 feet at whatever cost. And with McCollum up next, who definitely likes to put that ball into play, has had a couple of RBIs in the last couple of games via the ground out and the fielder's choice. So McCollum just a good guy to have here with Mosh on first.
First one almost hits McCollum, who's 3 for 17, so a slower start to McCollum's summer, but he's found other ways to get on base. 6 walks, has driven in 3, and also stolen 3 bases. He currently rides an 8-game on-base streak into tonight. The Mustangs will just find any way to reach base. And that's when it hurts you. Those free passes, errors, or just the plethora of singles. It's where the Mustangs offense capitalizes the most. Robertson ahead, though, 1-2.
That's a big league take there from McCollum. Almost clipped that inside part. But a good take, evens the count up at 2-2. And last time, like you mentioned, Truman, just those extra passes. The Merchants had to deal with a lot of pass balls that scored some runs last night.
Now after McCollum was down 1-2, he's worked it back full now, 3-2. McCollum did not play Tuesday at Sedalia. It's his night off for the week. Bombers have already improved as they did not score in that game, so they've already put one up on the board. They're going to try to hold this 1-0 lead for as long as they can. That full count pitch ripped fair down the third baseline and under the glove of Miller. Mosh will stop at third as Russo had trouble picking it up, and it's a 1-out double. And now just like that, the Mustangs have both the tying run and go-ahead runs in scoring position here with 1 out for Parker Griffith.
Just a good piece of hitting there by McCollum. Put the hands outside, just wanted to go get a piece of it, put it in play. Just almost trying to look like he was trying to just get Mosh up to second base, but that thing just ripped as he got a hold of the fastball down low. Kept, like I said, hands outside, drew it down the line, and it stayed fair the whole way. And with McCollum and Mosh with the speed, making it all the way up to second and third on yet another extra base hit for these Mustangs.
First extra base hit of the year from McCollum, and now back-to-back quality at-bats, working the count full by Mustangs hitters. As we said so often throughout this season, the more a hitter works and the more pitches a pitcher has to throw to them, the pressure amounts more on the pitcher. Another case right there as Robertson had McCollum down 1-2 as Griffith will chop one up to third. Miller has it this time, and that throw is going to go wide. One runs in, McCollum will jog home, and the Mustangs, just like that, retake the lead 2-1.
We've been saying it the last couple of games. Glory comes when you just put the ball in play. And Griffith, another weak hit ball from both these squads have been putting those tough plays in the infield. Miller just had a tough throw to make. And unlikely that McCollum was already at third waiting for that throw, and it just went over the head. And an easy 2 runs for the Mustangs.
7th and 8th RBIs for Griffith as he'll reach on the E5 and keep this inning going. Again, it's just one of those things, those free passes, but also those errors can just be so detrimental to a team, especially to a pitcher who thinks he's pitching his butt off, making quality pitches, and his defense is not playing behind him. Bombers had 2 errors on Tuesday.
Just in that situation, you just cannot give anything free like we've been mentioning to these Mustangs. And Mustangs know how to eat these teams alive on their defensive side and can really drive a pitcher's confidence apart.
Now that pitch gets away from Vickers, and Griffith will move now up to scoring position as the count now goes 3-0. As on Tuesday, one of those errors, Darius Freeman reached on. He came around to score in a 2-run 6th inning that put the Mustangs then up 3. Then Parker Griffith also reached on an error in the 8th, but did not come around to score. So errors have hurt Sedalia in the past against the Mustangs. Now it's a 4-pitch walk to Jaden Little. Now it brings up the RBI man himself, Truman Bodenhausen, to round out this Mustangs order.
I mean, from 1-2-3, Robertson looked so confident coming out of the first inning. Almost looked like the Mustangs were going to be in big, big trouble the whole night with how he got through that inning so fast. But back to the Mustangs' old ways. Now Bodenhausen up to the bat, just trying to keep the line moving. They've been doing such a good job. Still only 1 out for these Mustangs.
Bodenhausen, no ordinary 9-hole hitter. He really is a second leadoff hitter, but also hits for pop and drive-in runs as he has 10 RBIs on his season. As Jackson, you talked about it. These first 4 Mustangs hitters went down like that, and it looked like Robertson was going to cruise. But then just like that, 2 quality long at-bats by Mosh, who drew a walk, McCollum, who ripped a double. Then all of a sudden, things just start to unravel. And now 2 runs come across on the air, And then a 4-pitch walk followed that up. Now the first pitch to Bodenhausen here is a ball. So Robertson really losing himself out there on the mound, trying to stay composed. It's now 6 straight balls.
I mean, it's so easy for these Mustangs to get in these teams' heads, especially the pitcher and then this whole defense. You just lose sight of yourself and what is at stake in this type of situation here at Phil Welch with these Mustangs and how they've been coming in red hot.
Bodenhausen from North Central Missouri College. Another one of the multi-year Mustang players. Getting a lot more opportunities this summer. He did appear in 24 games last summer, but he's already appeared in 8 so far here through 3 weeks. Already 1/3 of that eclipse in the first 3 weeks. As there's another 4-pitch walk. And now the bases are loaded back for the top of the orders. It's 8 straight balls from Grayson Robertson.
And very good decision here to get a pitching mound visit here to Robertson. I mean, like you mentioned, just hasn't been able to find a strike the last 2 batters. And bases are loaded with just 1 out. And back to the top of the lineup with who we've been mentioning, the most hot hitter for this Mustangs, Logan Miller, now coming up to the plate. Just got to reel in some more confidence in Robertson, your arm. Because with only 1 out, you got every single base is alive to make a play, but it's just going to be really tough to slow the Mustangs down because once they get in the head, like I said last at bat, it's just so hard to get out of innings when the Mustangs have runners in scoring position. And even if you have them in 2 strike counts and 2 outs, I mean, it seems like the Mustangs are even more comfortable when it should be more stressful situations, I feel like, Truman.
What do you think Coach Drake Miller was saying out there to Robertson on the mound? Because, you know, like we mentioned, great first inning, great first batter striking out Felix, but now he looks like a shell of himself through five straight hitters now. Like, I mean, what are you saying to him up there on the mound?
Where'd you go? Where was that first inning? You know, where is my guy who I can really rely on in these situations? Just I want you to go in there and play catch with your catcher, and I just want to have you back, and still hasn't able to find that zone once again. But right there, it's just saying, hey man, it's only the 2nd inning of work. I put you out here to do 1 job, and it's just to get us through these innings. Doesn't have to be strikeouts, nothing fancy. It's just like I want to find you again.
9 straight balls, and now it has reached double digits with 10. Miller 0 for 1, grounded to short his first time up. Was 1 for 5 last night with a run, and 2 for 5 back on Tuesday. And there finally breaks the 10 consecutive balls with a strike right down the pipe. Maybe thought Miller might have taken a cut at it, but I feel like any good, smart hitter will let the consecutive balls keep on rolling. Now that one ripped off of Robertson, off his leg. He tosses the plate, and Griffith's gonna be out. What a recovery from Grayson Robertson. We'll check to make sure he's all right. Took one right off the calf, but then had the heads up to know where that ball went and underhand flip it to his catcher Vickers to cut down Griffith for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, he's going to get another mound visit here just to make sure that that plant leg is going to be okay. We see some movement going into the bullpen right now as bases are still loaded. Got the force at home. I mean, Truman, that's such a tough play to make. You're getting a little bit woozled there, and he's still shooken up from that as it hit that leg. Just a good job from him to just pick up that ball, give a nice flip to the catcher in time, as Griffith not the most speedy guy. That's exactly what you want there from Robertson. Getting the out. You got 2 outs in the inning. You saved one from scoring at home. A quality out there made by him, but he's just going to get some more words of advice from the Bombers pitching coach just to make sure that he can get him through this inning with 2 outs.
Sure, the umpires will give him as much time as he needs, as that can't feel good, especially being that left leg, but he looks like he's good to go, but especially being that left leg and that plant leg that he lands on his follow-through, but still able to get the out. Bases are still loaded. Now for Darius Freeman, the RBI leader himself for this St. Joe team. He flied to right his first time up. he can put a charge into one in the gap, with the speed out there on the bases, should clear him.
Freeman last night, 2 doubles. One of them a double into the left field gap. Another one that just fell into the lights. That he was just not stopping up to second, but just a guy who definitely knows how to get a barrel on the ball when it needs it most.
Freeman was an all-Mink first-team selection last year after he posted a .327 average, 48 hits in 39 games and 147 at-bats, including 11 doubles, 3 triples, and a pair of long balls. He's also a third of the way to his RBI total from last year when he had 31. 11 so far. Also swiped 25 bags. Is that one going to run too far inside and hit Freeman, and that'll drive in another run. It's now 3-1 St. Joe.
I mean, just an great at-bat from Freeman. I mean, not the most likely situation for Roberts, is hitting a batter to walk in a run is just never in the cards for a pitcher, and he is really getting beside himself in this inning. Bases are still loaded. Braden Lukehart, who ended the last inning, makes his way up. And another great opportunity. Roberts just trying to throw some strikes.
Mustangs are now batted around here in the second. 3 runs already home. The base is full of Mustangs. Lukehart flying to center to end the first inning. Looking to build on his 4 RBIs. So far, he threw 8 games. Another first-year Mustang. Comes via Missouri Southern University down in Joplin, Missouri. That one skied out to deep left, taking Russo back, and he runs it down and slams up into the wall. What a catch to rob Lukehart of extra bases by Sam Russo and stop the bleeding right there, but not before your Mustangs plate 3 in the inning and retake a 3-1 lead. We're headed to the third here at Phil Welch. 3-1 St. Joe. Mustangs plate 3 in the bottom of the second to retake the lead at 3-1. As we get a look at our trivia question here tonight, it was Hawaiian shirt giveaway for the first 250 fans. So I thought, what better than what MLB player born in Hawaii has played the most career games? Is it A, Shane Victorino, B, Kurt Suzuki, C, Colton Wong, or D, Mike Lum? Drop your answers in the chat for what Hawaiian-born player has played the most career MLB games. As Sam Pitts back out for his third inning of work, it'll be the bottom top for the Sedalia Bombers. First to be the catcher, Lance Vickers, who's trying to talk some confidence into his pitcher after a rough second inning from Grayson Robertson.
Remember Kurt Suzuki giving our Royals a hard time when he was on the Twins back in the day. He was one of my favorites to watch, but I thought that would be my answer. I'm going to guess Kurt Suzuki.
The 0-2, sky to center. Miller barely had to move, and he squeezes it for out number 1.
Just a good 0-2 payoff pitch there from Pitts. Put it up in the zone. Not too much. Off the end of the bat. Off the bat of Vickers. And Miller, who is wearing sunglasses out there, just didn't have a hard time reeling that one in off the bat as it was right back to him. But a good first out pitch there from Pitts.
Now back to the top, and Jaden Roberts, who grounded Dom Felix his first time up. That shadow of the sun has now almost virtually eaten the whole infield. Outfielders will still have to deal with the sun for probably another half hour to an hour. Roberts, a Pima, Arizona native. Attended Pima High School, in case one of those cities that more than likely only has one high school and it's named after the city. This pitch drops in a breaking ball, and Roberts way out in front and fouls it off.
Yeah, my high school wasn't a city. We were just based out of Kansas City, but I know yours.
Mine
over at
was.
Ozark,
I mean,
yeah.
there have been debates about building a second high school down in Ozark, but it seems like, you know, half the population wants to more or less try and keep the small-ish town vibes. I mean, it's a city of probably now 20,000, so it's not really a small town, but compared that it's right to the north is Springfield, Missouri. It is smaller than that, but there are 4 elementary schools.
Okay.
So, great place to live, but yes, one high school named Ozark High School. That breaking ball cut on and missed. Third strikeout for Pitts. First time Roberts has gone down swinging, out 2 outs here in the third.
I think it was filthy coming out of the hand. Even from up here, we could tell that break happened early on. Roberts just couldn't get an eye on that one and tried to get ahead of it. But just the off speed that Pitts has been putting onto these Bombers, just haven't been able to take control of that. And yet again, just another filthy strikeout here from Pitts.
Carter Rice struck out swinging his first time up. He was a guy that dominated Mustangs pitching on Tuesday. He was 3 for 4. Fortunately, did not amount to anything. One of those hits was a double. So now he finds himself quickly down 0-2. Pitts 1 pitch away from 3 one-run innings. The 0-2. Another breaking ball. Pitts really feeling that breaking ball in this inning. We saw Roberts go down swinging on a breaking ball. We saw Vickers out in front of a breaking ball. It's always nice as a pitcher when you have that fastball, but then you can complement it with a nice breaking ball. Change of speed, change of break. It's always good to have more than one tool in the pocket, but he goes back to old faithful. The fastball away, blows the doors off Carter Rice. It's a 1-2-3 third for Pitts. Mustangs will look to build on their 3-1 lead. Coming up next. Grayson Robertson trying to calm down the demons in the dugout after a rough second inning that saw 9 Mustangs come to the plate. 3 home in the inning as he walked 3 batters, hit a batter. There was a double thrown in and an error. Just looking to settle down and just try to give the Bombers any kind of length as Dom Felix, who he struck out to start the second, pops one foul. Ooh. Here in his second at bat. Felix, another all-Mink first-team selection from last summer. He hit .321, 43 hits and 134 at-bats, played 36 games. He had 11 doubles, also cranked 4 long balls as that one runs inside, and that's going to hit him. And it'll be a leadoff base runner here in the third as Robertson still yet to figure it out on the mound.
Really hasn't, really inconsistent so far through his first 2 and 1, and right there, Felix just did a good job watching it and just let him hit it. Sometimes a lot of these batters have the time to kind of get out of the way, but Felix, nice job just wearing it and getting an early base runner for the Mustangs.
And extends Felix's on-base streak now to 10 games. So he's reached base via a hit, maybe a walk, maybe a hit by pitch, maybe a fielder's choice. He's found ways to reach base 10 straight games. So now it's the Golden Gopher, Jack Mosh. You know, it gets really cold up there in Minnesota, so it's so cool to see, especially early in season. I'm not sure if this is the whole case, but they do play games at the Minnesota Vikings Stadium. It just gives so much of modern Metrodome vibes, seeing those highlights of games.
My good buddy plays at a D3 school for baseball, and they've also played at US Bank Stadium. They're up there in Minneapolis. Pretty cool thing to do. I mean, that outfield's pretty long, but you know, they bring the seats in kind of like they did at the Hubert H Metrodome, the old Twins Stadium indoor. But I love it whenever teams will play in different types of environments.
Yeah, I know. As that one ripped up the middle, but the grass slows it down over to second for one, over to first, and it's dropped by Paxton. Bombers thought they had a double play, but Paxton couldn't handle the return throw and said they'll just settle for a fielder's choice.
I mean, that was just a beautiful play made over by Kruger and Rice. They set up themselves perfectly for the double play. Just a tough throw to make with Mosh's speed. Had to get it out quick. With our Paxton just couldn't get a glove on it. So a runner still on now with only 1 out on the fielder's choice.
That one off the bat looked like it was destined for center field, but just kicked up off that grass between the mound and second. As that one ripped deep right center by McCollum. Back are the outfielders, and it's going to fall. Mosh had to hold up for it, so he'll make it to third. But now back-to-back innings, the Mustangs have runners at second and third with 1 out. It's the second double of the night for Trevor McCollum.
Just a good piece of hitting. Off the bat, looks like that could have trailed to the warning track, even over the wall. But it just hung up, but McCollum just keeps working. Some nice hits that aren't primarily supposed to be extra base hits. But a nice job by him, crafting some nice pieces of wood. And now he, like you mentioned, Truman, finds himself on second with his second double. Only 1 out, a nice RBI chance for Griffith.
2 came home in Griffith's first at-bat when he reached on an E5 by Miller. Errant throw. That was a hit by McCollum that just kept slicing away from Roberts out in center. He would have had to make a long run. Unfortunately, it was just a couple steps behind. Griffith, the Northwest Missouri Bearcat.
Go Cats.
Partner here in the booth, currently attending Northwest Missouri State. I'm all the way across the state at Lindenwood University as Griffith is going to reach for the second time. It's the second hit by pitch of the inning by Robertson, and now the bases are all loaded up for Jaden Little.
Yeah, these Mustangs are really having to wear it. Roberts still not able to find control. We'll see how much longer they're going to want to try and keep him. I know it's only the third, but at what cost do you want to say, hey, let's try and throw someone else get some different looks for these hitters, because right now, Roberts can't even find the zone, and when he does, it just looks like these Mustangs have been all over it.
Jaden Little walked on 4 pitches and came around to score last inning. Now he has the chance to really extend this lead. Bullpen is working out there in left center for Sedalia. Looks like number 19, Keith Pietmeyer, is out there. Robertson trying to serve up a double play ball maybe and get himself out of this inning.
I mean, that would just be totally ideal for Roberts, you know. Almost looking back at it like it never happened. Just trying to get himself out without even giving up a run would be the most ideal thing for the Bombers, but knowing these Mustangs, this is where they thrive.
That one laced deep right center. That's going to get down to the gap. How many will score? Mosh is home. Here comes McCollum. Right behind him's the catcher, Griffith, going to third and sliding in safely. Little. And will he go? No. Robertson there to back it up, but it's a 3-run triple. And it's now 6-1 St. Joe.
Jaden Little coming through, and like I said, this is what the Mustangs do with runners in scoring position. Putting one into the gap, and a guy like Griffith from first to home putting the wheels on, and Little wasn't stopping.
Robertson had to get a new ball after that one because that one was still sizzling after coming off of the bat of Jaden Little for a 3 RBI, 3-bagger.
Unloaded the bases.
Now 6-1, and it's Truman Bodenhausen who walked his first time up, but is no stranger to driving in runs. And he'll do one right there up the middle, off the glove of Robertson. And it's an RBI single for Truman Bodenhausen. Back-to-back run-scoring hits from the bottom of the Mustangs order.
I mean, why not? Just put one in play up the middle. Just a tough play to make from Rice. Can't get the glove on it. Bodenhausen had got some speed. Like I said, this Mustangs just give the infield such a tough time trying to get those plays off so fast. And with Little over at third, an easy 7th run of the ballgame. And that will do it for Roberts as another pitching mound coming out. And we see movement coming out of the bullpen.
Robertson really unraveled after the first inning and a third perfect. He's responsible for Bodenhausen at first and will exit after just 2 1/3 innings. 7 runs given up, and like I said, responsible for that man on first. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with the first relief pitcher of the night, Phil Sedalia. Keaton Coots looks to come in and extinguish the fire, the volcano of runs that has erupted from the Mustangs. He takes it over for Grayson Robertson, whose final line reads 2 1/3 innings on 4 hits, 1 strikeout, 3 walks, 2 hit batters. He's given up 7 runs so far, but is responsible for Truman Bodenhausen over at first. So it's back to the top of the lineup, and Logan Miller is 0 for 2 so far tonight. That one grounded in the hole, it's short, and that extends the hit streak now to 8. 3 straight hits from the Mustangs, and they keep the line moving.
Beautiful piece of hitting from Miller. I love to see the off-speed taken into the third base shortstop gap. Over there, Kruger tried to get the backhand glove on it, just out as that ball was smoked from Miller. Kruger had some speed. Likely that ball was just going to go through for a base hit.
Coots pitched the 9th on Tuesday against St. Joe. He gave up 1 run on 2 hits. Did have a strikeout, but the lefty comes in this game boasting a 15.43 ERA in 4 2/3 innings. 4 strikeouts to 3 walks. Really not just trying to get the Bombers out of this jam, but trying to give them some length of sorts. It is Darius Freeman, who extended his on-base streak to 6 games. Or got hit by a pitch his last time up, looking to extend his hit streak. Is that one? Vickers just didn't look into his glove. Now both runners move up into scoring position on the pass ball.
Again, Mustangs just getting more free passes here from these Bombers, as Coots given a my bad over to his catcher Vickers, is now Freeman with 2 runners in scoring position.
Hit by pitch last inning that Freeman took did give himself an RBI as he'll drive in another there. That one grounded to Kruger at short, and Freeman will be out on a close play. He thought he was safe, but he is retired, but not before the 8th run comes home on the RBI ground out by Darius Freeman.
Close play at first, but Freeman did exactly what he was asked to do. Just put the ball in play, get the runner home. But still only 2 outs, and Luckhart, runner still 90 feet away, as that did advance Logan Miller to third.
For the 2nd straight inning, the Mustangs have batted around here as it's Braden Luckhart, who so far has ended each of the first 2 trips to the plate for the Mustangs. It was a fly out to center in the first, and then a fly out to left in the second. But he won't end it there as that one ripped past the glove of Paxton and Luckhart. Big turn. But we'll head back as it's an RBI single from Luckhart, and it's a 6 spot here in the 3rd for St. Joe.
St. Joe bats around here in the 3rd, a 6-run 3rd. Like you mentioned, I'm loving to see these Mustangs just get everything off of these Bombers hitters. I mean, that is a lefty-lefty matchup. Luckhart had to watch that all the way through. A tough time getting that pulled down the line. But he did just that over the glove of Paxton. Drives home Miller easily.
Now it's Dom Felix, who started this inning with a hit by pitch, but then was thrown out at second on the fielder's choice that Jack Mosh grounded into. Extended his on-base streak to 10 games with that hit by pitch. Now he's looking to keep this inning going against Coots. Felix out of Emporia State University, originally from Tucson, Arizona. Elected to take his talents to the Northeast. He's in 45 games. He hit .291, 49 hits, and 169 at-bats. Had 10 doubles, 6 long balls. Only drove in 14, also walked 18 times.
Had some decent appearances against my Bearcats this last spring. Got to see him play over at the Cat.
Another returner to this 2025 squad. Now the count evens at 2-2 as that ball rides the top of the zone.
Felix just confirming that the top of the zone with tonight's umpire. He's been a good umpire so far through these first couple of innings.
Coots just looking to try to get out of this inning and really try and just stop the bleeding. There is a gash right now that the Bombers have suffered. He elects to show off his pickoff move. It's one of those things lefties can have, a very nasty pickoff move, because they don't have to be looking at first base to go to first base. They can really contort their legs in a way that deceives the runner. Lukehart takes off, though. Pitch outside, throw down, not in time. As Braden Lukehart steals his team-leading and Mink-leading 8th stolen bag of the year.
Good jump from Lukehart with that speed. That's going to be a tough throw from Vickers. He did have it on the money, but just not in time with Lukehart's speed, and full count to Felix with a runner in scoring position.
Felix looking to drive in his 10th run. Instead, he'll take a walk. Second time Felix has reached via a free pass in the inning. This inning stays alive for Jack Mosh, who thought he might have had a single up the middle, but got knocked down by that grass, and it ended up resulting in a fielder's choice. But he came around to score on the 3-run bases-clearing triple by Jaden Little.
Mosh, such a patient hitter. Really doesn't swing at anything too outside unless he really likes it, or if he's down in a 2-strike count. You won't really see him swinging really freely in these at-bats.
Talking about the stadium that Mosh plays in, during the wintertime, those February, early March months. Minnesota Golden Gophers baseball team plays at US Bank Stadium, home of the Minnesota Vikings. But then when it warms up, they play at Seibert Field. Well, that's be really cool. You don't. Very rare do you see. I can't name any current use dual-purpose stadiums off the top of my head. It's
no, not anymore.
The era of dual-purpose football, baseball stadiums.
It's like the Oakland Coliseum was the last one I could think
gone
of.
by the wayside. There are still plenty of NBA, NHL arenas, but those are so similar in size as now the bases are going to be reloaded. Mosh will take one off the shoulder and reach for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, I bet you he just probably wanted that one to just be kind of up and high, as it was already 3-0. Right in that situation, getting hit on 3-0 is like, are you serious? That couldn't have happened at any other point in the at-bat, but Mosh happy with it nonetheless. Yet another opportunity with these bases loaded with McCollum.
It is McCollum, who's 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles. One down the left field line, the other to right center earlier in this inning. McCollum looking to try and put up the most runs in an inning yet this season for the Stangs. Have put up 6 before. I'm looking to get him to 10 runs once again. Colm has also scored 2 runs out of Washburn University. That one ripped on the ground, but right to Kruger. He'll go the short way. And the inning is finally over for the Bombers, but not before your Mustangs put up a crooked number, a 6, as the Stangs are running loose and there are no Cowboys in sight to catch them. We're 1/3 of the way through this game, and it's 9-1 Mustangs. After a long bottom of the third, which saw your Mustangs put up 6 runs and extend their lead now to 9-1. We finally take a look back at that trivia question, Hawaiian shirt giveaway night. The question was, what MLB player born in Hawaii has played in the most career MLB games? The correct answer is
Boom.
Kurt Suzuki, legendary Minnesota Twins catcher. At least that's who I think of
Me too.
in terms of that.
He was good. Yeah, the team with Torrey Hunter, Kurt Suzuki, Dozier.
Played in 1,635 career games, a career 255 hitter. Seems like haul of pretty good stats to me. Mike Lum was in second with 1,517. Shane Victorino, 1 game shy of 1,300 at 1,299, and then Colton Wong in fourth at 1,189.
Solid list.
Sam Pitts had to sit for a while, but he's back to work here in the fourth. As that pitch popped into center by Dalton Miller. Logan Miller, no relation, does not have far to go. And it's 2 pitches, 1 out for Sam Pitts. So now it'll be the cleanup hitter Connor Rice, who grounded back to Pitts. Pitts made a fantastic play on the ball. That ball was hit about 12 feet in front of home plate. Pitts, all in one motion, picked it up and threw a dart of a throw to get Rice by just half a step.
Just continue to prove the fact that this defense has been a huge factor this season, and in these last couple of games in this homestand, we've seen some tremendous plays from these Mustangs.
Connor Rice stayed in Sedalia for the summer as he attends State Fair, as that one popped to first. Jane Little's under it, and it's 2 quick outs here for Sam Pitts.
Love to see it. I mean, that is just what the doctor ordered here for Pitts once again, as he's trying to go back-to-back. 1, 2, 3 innings. Did it back in the first. What a dominant outing he's had. A good pick-me-up type of game from Pitts. Just really proving the fact that he's out here to ball, and he's doing just that, just 1 hit, 1 run. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Mr. Pitts.
Now stepping in for his second time will be Ethan Kruger, who drew a walk and came around to score the only run for the Bombers. It's the first run of the game since the Mustangs have scored 9 unanswered. Now Pitts has Kruger down 1 and 2, and I mean, so far, Jackson, I mean, we're only through 3 2/3, but Sam Pitts again is just really blossoming as these Mustangs. It just seems like we talked about the bullpen in the pregame show and in the open, but I mean, these starters, whether it's Aaron Harrington, who's been fantastic, won pitcher of the week this past week in the Mink League, Jaron Guck threw an absolute gem on Tuesday as that one grounded to Felix. And it's another 1, 2, 3 inning for Pitts. We'll have to hold that starting pitcher thought till the bottom of the inning, but Sam Pitts is dealing, folks. 4 innings and only 1 run on 1 hit. Mustangs offense gets another chance to hit coming up next. Keaton Coots back for his second inning of work, trying to at least throw up less than 6 runs here, but this Mustangs offense has exploded. So it'll be Parker Griffith to start here in the bottom of the 4th. Hey, when he comes up, just kind of, I guess, take your headset off. Griffith so far has reached on a E5 and also been hit by a pitch. The Bearcat, already at the dish, takes one high. The Mustangs were down 1-0, and it looked like we might be in for a game that seemed like they would have to play from behind, but they immediately responded. Is that one? What's up, guys? Line deep down the right field line.
All you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
As now here we welcome up into our booth Frank Gall. Frank, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. Doing great. It's a beautiful night here at Phil Welsh. Love to see the crowd tonight.
That's great. You know, did have that try and dive, so unfortunately you have been sitting out some games. But I mean, you're still there with the guys, and you're seeing them win baseball. I mean, how has it been? How does the locker room feel right now?
Oh, honestly, we've all been talking about how we feel like we're not going to lose another game this year. So spirits have been up really good, and I'd like to see that happen. That'd be awesome. But, yeah, it's been awesome. Even being hurt, still from St. Joe, it's nice I can still come hang out with the boys every day. So.
And you are one of the guys returning for your multiple years here with the Mustangs. What does it mean to be like the summer comes around, you want to play here at Phil Welch in front of these fans for this community?
Oh, man. Every summer – in the spring, I'm always waiting for the summer to come because I know how much fun it's going to be. And it's honestly just such a blast being able to play in front of my family and friends that I've grown up with here in St. Joe. It's awesome.
And, I mean, just talking tonight, talked about this. The team is really just feeling that you guys might not lose another game. I mean, we kind of talked about what the locker room's like, but kind of maybe off the field. What do you like to do? Do you hang out with a bunch of the guys? I mean, you guys have your first road trip coming up.
Yeah, well, we like to definitely play some loud tunes on the back of the bus for road trips.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've all been usually the guys. We like to hang out in the locker room. Like we've hung out there until midnight a couple times. We've gone out with the guys. It's been great. It's been awesome.
Now, I mean, talked about you are a returner, but there's a big group of you guys. How long did it take to embrace those new guys coming in? I mean, guys like Jack Mosh, but also like high schoolers. Chris Coy, Easton Philippi, Ashton Nance. Like, what is it? Is there any initiation that goes on, or they kind of just fall right into line into the family that?
Yeah, I would honestly say that that's exactly what happens. They just fall right in. Everybody just became brothers right away, it felt like, and especially helps when you're winning baseball games. It's easy to be friends with everyone. So, I mean, yeah, no. The new guys, I think they fit in really well, and these high school kids are going to help us out a lot this summer. So,
now you are local, Missouri Western State.
Yes.
Currently attending. What are you majoring in?
I'm currently majoring in exercise science. I'm actually in the transfer portal right now because our coach got fired. But so I'm trying to find my new home next year. But yeah, I got a lot of good options, and I'm excited to see what happens for my final season next year.
Now, I mean, it's a new era of NCAA athletics with this transfer portal. Would you mind giving the listeners at home just maybe not all the details, but what does it look like being a guy in the transfer portal? Are you reaching out to schools? Are schools reaching out to you? How is communication for that kind of working?
Well, I was fortunate to have a good season this year, so that always helps. And I had a good year last year at my junior college. And so, yeah, I've had a lot of coaches reach out to me. I haven't really had to reach out to anyone. But, yeah, I mean, guys do tend to, make Twitter posts and stuff to get their name out there. But, yeah, no, I've had a lot of coaches hit me up, and we'll see what happens. I haven't made a decision yet, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So
it's Truman Bodenhausen here. Jane Little took a walk. Bodenhausen batting at the bottom of the lineup. I feel like I gotta ask, do you have a favorite teammate? You know, is there someone that you're real homeboy with?
Well, a lot of the guys that were my age stopped playing last year.
Okay.
But this year, I have one more guy that we've played baseball, football, everything together our whole lives. We went to school. Jaron Guck and I have been good friends for a long time, and yeah, he's my guy. So
Now it's not official yet, but there are talks of getting an official term for when he pitches called the Gucket list. Thoughts on that? Guy strikes out, add him to the Gucket list.
Yeah, I heard about that earlier today, and I love it. He was just a little concerned that the list might not be very big. I think it will be for him, but that's what he was concerned about with it. So hopefully if he has that list, he fills it up pretty fast.
Now, do you get to face many of your teammates, whether it's practice or anything, or is it pretty much you come into the summer, it's just pretty much games every day and it's real no practice days?
Well, no, yeah. Well, actually during the regular season I did face Jaron though.
You did?
And Jaron,
okay.
we had 2 at-bats. I had 2 at-bats against him, and I grounded out and then lined out against him. So
he did get you out, but he didn't strike you out.
No, he did not strike me out, but he did get me out both times. So, but after I hit it hard the second time, he gave me a little smile. So it was a good moment for sure.
There's a ground by Bodenhausen. They'll go the short way to cut down Little. Now 2 outs here in the 4th. Now, gotta ask, playing at Missouri Western, outside of that field, what's the favorite place you've gotten to play at on the college circuit?
Ooh, I really enjoyed Washburn's field. They have a beautiful brand new turf outfield with like a beautiful navy blue padded wall, and the wind blows out to right field. So, and I'm a lefty, obviously. So, but yeah, I liked theirs. But a lot of the MIAA schools got really nice stadiums. I mean, we're fortunate to have a beautiful stadium at Missouri Western too. So,
now are you more pro turf field, or is there a special place in your heart for classic grass fields?
I like playing on turf because it's more consistent. But if a dirt field is done correctly, dirt is the best for sure.
Yeah, no. Have played when I played in high school. Definitely played on my fair share of very nice dirt fields. But gotta ask, do you have a favorite Mustangs memory?
Oh,
If there's too many to pick, I mean, you can share a few, but
well, one of my favorite memories is definitely when I just hit my first home run at Phil Welsh on the party deck last year. That was a really good moment. My dad was sitting not on this side, but on this side up at the top, and in the live stream, you can see him like run down the stairs in celebration. So it was a good moment for us for sure. But yeah, I have so many good memories. I mean, we make great memories every night. So,
well, Logan Miller will strike out to end the 4th. Frank, I thank you for joining us. Hope it wasn't too much for you to come up here, but hope you get well soon. We see you back out there on the field.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Top 5 here. Sam Pitts back out. If you missed it, we just had Frank Gall up in the booth. So if you're just joining us, I encourage you to tap back on the stream and rewind it just a bit. Great speaking to him. Unfortunately, got injured diving for a ball. We're hoping for a speedy recovery, but he's a great guy to talk to. Talked about playing at Missouri Western, being a local guy. He's also one of the returners, so talked about what that means and what it means to bring in the new guys. But we got to look at weather. Currently 84, so a bit more of a steamier one. But again, much like how the Earth works, when the sun goes down, it gets a little cooler. So 8:49 sunset. So if you keep watching that, folks, that sunset slowly getting later and later in the game. But Pitts back out, looking to qualify for the win with a clean 5th inning right here, as it'll be Sam Russo, originally from Nixa, Missouri. Rival school to my alma mater, Ozark, Missouri. He started his career at State Fair Community College before transferring to Pitt State. And Jackson, I know you got to see him when your Bearcats played the Gorillas. Definitely one of the more unique mascot names. Got to love when you have those unique mascot names.
Oh, yeah, I love it. You know, you got some different ones in the MIAA. Got the Ichabods from Washburn, the Gorillas, the Hornets, of course, from Emporia State. And then you got some different ones like the Tigers from Fort Hays State. But, yeah, the Gorillas, I mean, they definitely give us a hard time in every sport they play. Women's basketball was on fire. Football always gives my Bearcats a tough time. It'll be played at Children's Mercy this year. I'll be able to be on the sidelines for that. It'll be pretty fun. But, yeah, Gorillas, it's a tough school down there in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Been down there a few times in my high school days when had jazz band competitions. I was in the jazz band, played alto sax, so went down there every year for their little music festival. Definitely a cool campus, as Russo now runs the count fully. Grounded to Dom Felix his first time up. You know, kind of going back on the talk of mascots. I mean, the OVC, it's definitely one-sided, but not the mascot you would think. There are a lot of Eagle-themed mascots. I mean, you have my Lindenwood Lions. You have the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles.
Okay.
Eastern Illinois Panthers. Tennessee State Tigers. So there is a tiger. Southeast Missouri SEMO Redhawks. Western Illinois Roughnecks. Definitely one of the more rare ones, as there's a single into center by Russo. That'll break the streak of 7 consecutive hitters retired by Pitts, and it's the second hit of the evening for the Bombers. But and then you have the Little Rock Trojans, but then you really get into the the SIUE Cougars. You have the Southern Indiana Screamin' Eagles. Then you have the UT Martin Skyhawks. So a lot of birds, a couple Eagles, a lot of birds though, a lot of birds. But, if we want to talk more about the inconsistency or uniqueness of mascots, my high school's conference, so many Tigers, just too many Tigers, I get it, Tigers, but maybe that'll be a trivia question one night. What is the most common mascot in college NCAA athletics?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to go with either the Tiger, Eagle. Got also some different ones. You got the Lions from Arkansas Fort Smith in the MIAA. You got the Mules from Central Missouri as well. The Lions out of Missouri Southern.
That one golfed out to left center. Miller is over. He'll call off McCollum. And it's an easy catch for out number 1.
Also got the Hillcats out of Rogers State as well, to Rogers, Arkansas. So, yeah, definitely some different ones as well in our conference, but
got to play a couple summer games down at Rogers State.
Yeah.
Very nice, all-natural facility down there at Rogers State. But Pitts, one retired here in the 5th. That first pitch fouled off by Will Munch. Munch struck out looking to end the second. There's only 4 strikeouts so far for Pitts, but the amount of weak contact and easy fly balls, nothing too far that his outfielders have had to run for, have been plentiful. That one grounded over to Mosh. He'll go to Bodenhausen for 1. Over to Little. Inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. As Sam Pitts continues to deal 5 innings and only 1 run allowed. As we're halfway through this Saturday evening Mink League matchup, and your Mustangs still lead 9-1.
This is actually pretty cool.
Welcome back in to the broadcast. Jackson Phelps here. Truman taking a break because we are joined by Mr. Michael and Franca. Michael, how are we doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing all right, brother. It's good to have you up in the booth here to watch this bottom of the 5th inning as Darius Freeman's going to lead it off.
Oh, that's my roommate.
Hey, okay. So
Yeah.
you know Darius pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Any fun stories you got for us about Darius?
Oh, I got plenty of stories about Darius. You know, I think one of my favorite stories I have with Darius is after we won the championship last year, just hanging out with him all night. I think we stayed at the field for a while and, you know, just hung out, celebrated, and had fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a good time. I've known Darius for a while. So.
You got to love that. I love
Oh,
to
yeah.
hear that. You know, you're off for the night, you know, a decent only one outing so far this
Yes,
season,
only
right?
one.
Take me through that. What was that like getting their first time to come out and pitch here at Phil Welch? You know, what was the feeling to get back?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I haven't pitched for probably a month and a half. I came down a little late. Was still down in Texas training.
Yeah.
So to come back out here and, you know, to be in front of all the fans and just to get out there again, it was awesome. It felt like it was the first time again.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Love to hear it. You know, you were just
Yep.
talking about Darius, your roommate. Is there a specific teammate that's got to be one of your favorites? on
One
this
of
team?
my favorites. Yeah.
Or like your
I got-
personal
oh.
favorite?
Oh, my personal
Yeah.
favorite, huh? I don't know if I have a personal favorite, but I'm gonna go with Frank Gall just because.
There you go. He was just up in the booth with us.
Yeah, he was just up in the booth, you know. So, because people call me Frank too, so we're the Franks together, and you know, I've known Frank for a while too.
Nice.
So, yeah, Frank's an awesome guy. We
Yeah.
hang out in his driveway a lot.
You're just
oddly enough.
mentioning up in Texas, up at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Is
Yes,
that
sir,
correct?
yeah.
How'd that season go for you this last spring?
It was good. Yeah, we beat a lot of good teams. Actually, I think our biggest win was UCLA, which
Oh,
they
nice.
they just won today. So.
They did.
Yeah, definitely a lot of ups and downs. You know, the end of the season didn't go the way we wanted it to, but it was definitely better to be down there playing in 80-degree weather in February. you
I
know,
bet.
here.
I bet, dude. And I
Yeah.
saw when you were last up, you had some tough opponents like Kansas, Texas
yeah.
A&M, Texas. Just
Yeah.
take me through what it's like going up against some of those D1 type of schools, you know, that are kind
Yeah.
of been up there in the top 25 rankings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's fun. You know, I think that was a big goal for me, and that's why I did it, was to try to pitch against teams like that.
Yeah.
You know, just to kind of try to prove to myself that I could, you know, compete up there with those guys at the highest level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I had some really. I pitched against KU pretty well and against Texas pretty well, and then Texas A&M I didn't do so well. So
Hey, it's all right.
you know, I learned that I can be up there, but they're definitely up there for a reason, you know. So
That's right. As that one's going to be lined up the middle off the bat of Lucart's going to go to 2 for 1, not in time. And Lucart once again reaches on the fielder's choice. Freeman will go out at second for the first out of the inning. And, you know, just back here in St. Joe, is there a specific thing you like to do around this area in St. Joe that's your favorite?
I really missed. I really missed Abelardo's. As weird as that sounds.
Okay.
Abelardo's, late night Abelardo's runs after the games. They're a must, and, I didn't have that for a while. So Abelardo's, and then Longboards was another place that I actually really missed.
What's the go-to at Longboards? Is it
The Cabo
chicken?
Oh, yeah.
Good man.
Oh, yeah.
Good man. Back on that, what's your favorite? If you like late night or just any time of the day, what's the go-to fast food spot that's your favorite?
Can I say Chipotle? Is that fast food enough for you?
Oh, 100%.
I'm going with Chipotle. It's easy. It's the go-to, and we go Chipotle about every day. So
Love it. Chicken or steak?
Chicken, big chicken guy. Oh yeah.
You had that new honey Chipotle chicken yet?
I've had it once.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little too sweet for me. I really liked the other one that they did, the Caribbean jerk chicken or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
But they took that away. So
Back to the Mustangs. Is there a specific Mustangs memory that's been your favorite in your?
I think my
times here?
first year here winning the championship was probably that was pretty special.
Yeah.
My roommate Ty Hilsebeck, who now he lives here, but he's not on the team this year.
Okay.
But he started game 3 for us as a freshman and came out and just put it all on the line. Had a great game. So unfortunately, I didn't get to pitch that game.
Yeah.
But that was a really special group of guys, and I think we were out here till 4 or 5 a.m. celebrating after. So
Nice.
It was a special group. Yeah. Oh, we also we had a Japanese player that year who came down for the summer. So
That's
was
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was really cool to see what he had to bring to the table from his perspective. Just learning different ways of the same thing. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Last year winning that championship, is there any differences really with the two different teams from last year coming to this year? I know it's still a new group, but you guys have still been gelling. We asked Frank the same question, just like, what has it been like with this new squad coming from last year to this year?
I think we're bringing back a lot of guys, so
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of familiarity to it. And I think that also.
Oh, that is going to run up.
Is that his second time he got hit?
That is going to be the second hit by pitch from Mr. Tom Felix. Nobody played it at first.
He's not happy about that one.
I mean, I wouldn't be getting hit twice in a
no.
game.
Yeah.
Not at all. But that will put Braden Lucart in scoring position for Mr. Jack Mosh coming up. Mosh, today he's having a decent day. Drew a walk in the second when he was hit by a pitch back in the fourth and got on a fielder's choice back in the third. But another runner in scoring position chance here for the Mustangs. And I know you get to watch a lot of the games, either from the bullpen or from, the club, the dugout. But just what are some of those things that you just notice about this team that have been some of those strong suits?
I think we get along really well. Usually everybody says, in the summer ball, it takes probably the first 3 or 4 weeks to really get used to your teammates before, you start really meshing and bonding together. But,
Yeah.
I showed up a week and a half late, and I got welcomed in, and, we've been doing stuff as a team all the time. So it's definitely a really good group. We have great relationships on the team, and, I think it's really helping us win some ball games.
I really love to hear that, especially, this is going to be your home for the next couple of months. You're going to see each other almost every single day for either, the practices. And you guys are about to go on your first official, road trip. I know you went to Sedalia, but what is that going to be like, going with the team on a little trip? Do you think that'll be a little bit more of a team builder activity as well?
Oh, yeah, that's what bus rides are for, man. We play Moff on the bus ride back every night because, usually we got to win first. But
Right, yeah.
That's when, even as much as it sucks waiting in those McDonald's parking lots for an hour after the games, that's where you really get to meet somebody and, you kind of bond through suffering together. So.
No kidding, yeah.
So, there's definitely pros and cons of road trips, but, yeah, we love playing Moff together, so that's the big one.
What is
Moff?
Mafia?
Mafia.
Oh,
yeah,
I love.
Mafia.
Okay, wasn't familiar with the the lesser term of that, but no,
Oh,
Mafia
yeah.
is a classic.
Yeah.
My baseball team in middle school, we used to do that on the bus rides
Really?
on travel
That's
ball.
awesome.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. My family loves it too. As bases are going to be loaded with one out for Mr. Trevor McCollum as Mosh draws his second walk of the night, and only one out on the board. Mustangs with another great opportunity with runners in scoring positions. These boys are coming to play on the bats tonight. Really, Michael just really disciplined. What have you been seeing tonight from these batters?
Yeah, just like you said, they're competing and they're really just they're competing in the zone, which is a big thing I look for. Is looking for your pitch and
Yeah.
not missing it. And with the amount of hits they've had today and the amount of hard hit balls they've had today, they're definitely not missing their pitch very much. So
that one's going to be lined over to third. That one's just going to get foul. So first strike on McCollum. It'll keep the at-bat alive. A little bit more going back to fun questions. Do you have a favorite video game you like to play during your free time, or is there any free time activities that you like to do?
Yeah, I mean, I love fishing in my free time. Trevor, the guy, is he up right now? Oh, he's up right now. Yeah.
Yep.
So his host family, you know, they have a property with a pool and stuff, so we'll go hang out there if we, you know, on off days or whatever.
Nice.
But other than that, there ain't really much free time. Right now, we've been playing a lot of MLB The Show in the clubhouse.
Okay,
so.
you a big Diamond Dynasty guy? Or?
Oh, yeah, huge
okay.
Diamond Dynasty guy.
Yep, I am too myself right now. I'm grinding through my team. Haven't been on in a couple of weeks just because I have been a little busy. But.
Oh, yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a busy couple weeks, so haven't been on recently. But you know, we play each other in the clubhouse, and then we're a big ping pong team right now too.
Ping pong.
Oh yeah.
Who would you say is the best ping pong player on the team?
You know, I haven't really got my fair share of looks yet on the ping pong table, but I'm gonna go with Jaron Guck, and you know, I think that might be a sleeper pick. We actually just did our top 10 rankings in there before the game, so we'll have to see how those switch up throughout the season.
That's really it. I love that. Top 10 ping pong. Gotta love that in the clubhouse activities.
Little competitiveness, even when we're having fun, you know, always trying to be competitive and win. So.
Yeah. A couple more questions about yourself. Do you got a favorite MLB team that you currently that you can root for?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's the Royals. So.
Yep, I feel that one.
Yeah, you know, we try, but hey, at least we have football season, right?
That is correct, as McCollum's going to draw the walk, and that will bring home to score Braden Lucart. For the 10th run of the ball game, Mustangs now lead it 10-1. Just one out and a mound visit quickly. After the base, they're still juiced with one out. Mustangs still looking to be some threats with the bats. Is coming up next to him will be Parker Griffith, the Bearcat, looking to continue his pretty decent season. Reached on the E5 back in the second. Was walked in the third. He ended up coming all the way around to score. Then popped up to second the end, the fourth inning. Football season, you know, I mean, I can kind of tell we're both. I'm a Royals and Chiefs guy myself. You know, we can look forward to that, as it'll be a pitching change for the Sedalia Bombers. Their third call to the bullpen tonight, so we'll get a look at that in a second. What are your final thoughts on the Chiefs season? I know a lot of viewers at home, you know, KC area, you know, very heavily Chiefs fans. What were your final thoughts on this last season? I know it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but what are some of those
I was
thoughts?
kind of scared, honestly. I think Mahomes probably played the worst game of his career that last game of the year. So
I know.
Going into this next game, it's like, oh boy, we got to figure out after however many months off if he still got it or not. So, and, you know, excited to go watch some Chiefs training camp while I'm up here for a while. You know, we always like to do that a couple of times too, later in the summer. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't gotten to be up to spring training in a little bit, but or summer camp. My apologies. Yeah, I haven't been there in a couple of years, but it's really cool. You know, getting to see some of your favorite players up close. Where are you originally from, Michael? I guess I haven't really gotten to ask some of those questions. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. So
so you're from KC.
Yeah,
nice.
I graduated from Blue Springs High School. So it was.
Ooh, Wildcat. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we didn't have the best ball club while I was there, but they won state last year, so they're doing better. Yep.
I know your guys' rivals, Blue Springs South, took it this year in baseball in the Classics. They beat my Staley Falcons. That's where I went to high school. But
no.
yeah. But more fun questions. What's your dream car when you grow up?
Dream car. I'm gonna go with a 2500 Dodge Ram.
Dodge Ram.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Retirement truck. That's what I'm going to call it.
Love it. I love to hear that.
Yep. Something easy. Something that I can just hang out in if I need to. Okay, I got a question for you.
What's up?
What is your favorite theme tonight of the summer?
Oh, man. This is definitely a hard question. Oh, man. I obviously love tonight. I mean, we're all up here in our Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah.
I love it.
Big
it's
fan
awesome.
Of Hawaiian night.
I mean, I got to get out of the big intern shirt and get to be in a little comfy mode. Me and Truman both in the Hawaiian shirts up here, as you saw in our pregame show. But I'll bring up Parker Griffith with the bases loaded. I mean, the other fun nights that we had, I mean, the Fred Kastner bobblehead night. That'll be grounded over to short, going to second for the first. Not in time, and Griffith will plate home the 11th run of the ball game for the Mustangs. On the 6-4 fielder's choice, it is now 11-1. Mustangs lead it. But going back to what you said, I love the bobblehead night as well, getting to saw some kids come up to Greg Kastner, getting some autographs from him. But I got to say tonight, the Hawaiian shirts, it definitely, the vibe around the whole entire area tonight's pretty cool. What's been your favorite?
You know, throughout the years, I think definitely Hawaiian night is up there for top 3, but I think I still think Taylor Swift night takes the cake every time.
Taylor Swift,
Yeah,
I've never gotten to experience that. What's that like?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, I think we got almost 7,000 last year for that game. So, you know, it's just it's a better environment. You know, usually we get anywhere from 2 to 3,500, which is, I mean, it's amazing. You know, we're really grateful for it. Not a lot of summer teams get to experience this, but whenever they pull out those Taylor Swift tickets, I think we get about double what we usually get.
Wow.
And it is just, I mean, it is wild out here. It's really fun to pitch those nights.
I love to hear that, really. You know, the environment around Phil Welch. I mean, you've gotten to play here a couple of seasons. You know, what's your take on the environment here at Phil Welch, game in and game out? You know, have you gotten any, you know, cool interactions with some of the fans here at Phil Welch?
Oh, yeah, and it's, you know, it's cool to see the fans actually remember you when you come back, too. You know, I got little kids that come up to me all the time asking, you know, how my college season went and just talking to me about the year and what they were doing. And, you know, I think it's a really family environment, and I think that's what really makes it special is how we can actually interact with the fans and, you know, feel like we're a part of the town.
Love to hear that. Little is even the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Coming in to score was Mosh for the 12th run of the ball game. Mustangs now lead at 12-1. And they are cruising here in yet another Mink League game. Another 3-2 count. Little trying to keep this inning going for the Mustangs.
Yeah, do we know who the second best team is this year so far?
Look at that. We'll get a quick look as Little will walk down to first. And yet another base runner on for the Mustangs. It's going to be Clarinda.
Okay.
Clarinda, the team you guys faced last year in the championship. Do you have any you know, fond memories of that A's team that you guys faced off last year in that championship series?
Yeah, I mean, we always, so before they switched up how they did the playoffs last year. Before that, you know, we've always kind of known it's us and Clarinda at the top. And we used to actually have to play them in a semifinal game. But no, I think those games are always really special because it just kind of brings out the best in everybody. You know, like usually that's the game where our pitcher is going to go out there and probably go 7 and probably only give up 1 or 2 runs at most. You know, we've had some great arms that have thrown great games against Clarinda when it matters. So those games are actually really fun, and they're usually really competitive. So
love to hear that. Any other teams that you would think in this Mink League that are just another competitive team to watch out for every year other than the A's?
You know, I'm not really sure. I know Carroll competed a little bit last year. But, you know, one team we're always really trying to beat is Chillicothe. You know, that's the games we always want to make sure we're winning by at least 10.
As a balk is going to be issued, and that'll put Little at second. And Griffith will head on over to third. So now Bodenhausen down in an 0-2 count. 2 runners in scoring position, trying to open up this game even more for the Mustangs. The 0-2 pitch. It's going to be fouled off once again. You know, back home in Kansas City, what's some of your favorite things to do back at home when you're in Kansas City?
Oh, I love going to the lake. That's I grew up in a lake family, so usually when I go back to KC, we're already leaving KC and going down to the Ozarks for the weekend. It's a great time, you know, and what just happened? Is that the inning?
And that is going to be the inning as Bodenhausen will go down looking, but not before your Mustangs played home 3 runs and now lead it 12-1. Well, Michael, thanks for taking the time with us up here in the booth. It was a pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Hopefully we've seen you around more this season, but that was Michael and Franca, everyone. Your Mustangs take a 12-1 lead as we're headed to the 6th inning of play here on YouTube.
Andrew Clark is the first number called from the pen as Truman Greasel, I am back. Jackson Phelps alongside me. We've gotten to interview Frank Gall and Andrew Clark over the past 2 innings. But Sam Pitt's final line, 5 innings, 1 run on 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, and a walk. But it'll be Andrew Clark, 4th appearance. He has a save on the year in 5 innings, 1.80 ERA, 8 strikeouts to 1 walk, and opponents are batting .063 against one of the guys that I would say, if it comes down to a high leverage situation, this might be one of the guys I'm calling upon.
Oh, gotta love seeing Andrew up on the mound. Just got to talk to him yesterday on Filling Time with Phil Welch. Any of you guys want to go check out that podcast with Andrew Clark? He was talking about how he's just been working through some more of his mechanics. He's been in the gym every day. He was actually just out golfing yesterday with Guck and both the Pitts brothers, Max and Sam. So Clark getting his second appearance here at Phil Welch and looking to see what he can do. He said he's been trying to work on that changeup, Truman. So let's see tonight, see if we can see more of that changeup coming out of Andrew. He said he relied more on the fastball last time he was out, but he said he wants to mix in that changeup a little bit more.
It'll be the catcher, Lance Vickers. And his only time up so far, he flew out to center. Mustangs have really opened the floodgates, 12-1. And if the Bombers don't squeak across at least 2, this game will end early in the 7th. Clark, a very, long and slow, very, I think, I think of guys like, CC Sabathia, maybe a Chris Young.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they can really put their spot, but it's not this quick, not to say herky-jerky, but it's definitely methodical in a way.
Clark didn't get to play last year up at Northwest. He's mentioning how he's just using this summer as his last, just to kind of get back to those fundamentals. So he just wasn't able to get some of that experience this last year up in Maryville. Just want to have some fun with his friends, being back in St. Joe.
Now Vickers here has run the count now in his favor, 3-1. Vickers hitting .240, 6 hits and 25 at-bats so far here at the end of week 3. You were talking with Michael about those standings. I mean, Mustangs right now running away in terms of the standings. But then it is definitely a log jam through the middle. I mean, pretty sure one game separates second through 5th place. As that pitch runs a little bit inside. It's a leadoff walk to Vickers. Just the 4th base runner tonight for the Bombers.
Just an absolute dominant performance from this pitching staff. Clark, an early runner, but just needs to reel himself back in, work inside that zone. He wanted to play it inside a little bit more on that at-bat. Just trying to play some catch with Griffith, his fellow Bearcat teammate.
Bearcats forever, as they might say, or maybe they don't say that, and I'm just
once a
Bearcat,
Bearcat, always a Bearcat.
Once a Bearcat, always a Bearcat. It's back to the top of the order, and Jaden Roberts, who has been very quiet tonight, much like the rest of this lineup, 0 for 2 against Pitts. He grounded out to Felix, and he also struck out swinging in the 3rd. And the 1-1 swung on the mist. Fastball up. Now as Roberts down 1-2. Sedalia came into tonight maybe looking to avoid their 5th straight loss. And they got off to a great start. They scored the first run of the game.
Yes, they did.
But since then, it's been 12 unanswered runs. by your St. Joseph Mustangs. There's a breaking ball, just missed. Clark and Griffith both thought that one caught the top of the zone. It's the first time we're seeing Clark this week. He has not pitched yet this week. So now this count runs full, back-to-back full counts. 2 bomber hitters here in the 6th. Last time he pitched was last Friday night. He picked up the save, pitching the final 3 innings against Chillicothe. He gave up 1 run on 1 hit, had a walk, and also struck out 4. So there goes Vickers for second, and that ball is launched. Deep drive into the left field corner. But it's foul. It is foul.
You know, I did not see that ball land. I don't know where it is, but it is foul.
And that's always one. There was a team I would play in high school, Willard, Missouri, that whenever a long foul ball like that, their bench would always yell, "Warning shot!" And then, you know, usually more often than not, the guy struck out on the next pitch. So, not saying that is all true, but
actually, that last foul ball kind of saved Clark, as Vickers was already at second by the time.
And what do you know? Changeup gets him on the corner. Second strikeout on the evening for Roberts. First strikeout for Clark, as now there's 1 out here in the 6th.
Just a good comeback pitch. Roberts got all of that last off speed, but Clark just went back to that heater on the outside and got Roberts swinging. Just a good comeback at bat and a comeback pitch. Vickers still at first. I mean, like I mentioned, was already at second by the time Roberts took that swing.
Now it'll be Carter Rice. Rice also 0 for 2, looking to put the ball in play for once. He's a pair of strikeouts to his name. He was 1 for 5 last night in their loss to Chillicothe with a run and an RBI. That was a game which Chillicothe played at 5 in the first, but Sedalia responded with 5 in the third, but then ultimately it was 1 run in the 7th. That was the deciding factor, as now it's quickly 0-2. Let's talk about the losing streak Sedalia's on. 4 in a row. Your Mustangs have won 6 in a row. To start this season.
Just dominance. You really love to see it.
Excuse me, 7 in a row, actually. 6 straight home games, but 7 in a row overall.
I mean,
it's another night that they have gotten to the 10 runs. They just continues, that continues to be the new normal here, especially in Mink League play.
Tale of 2 tapes so far. I mean, both these teams kind of on opposite spectrums as far as winning and losing games.
3rd straight game with 10-plus runs. 6th game overall this season with 10-plus runs. They've 60% of their games they have played, they have scored 10 or more runs. I mean, for opponents, that's just hard to contend with because, I mean, it's hard to duel a team hitting-wise. You can have pitchers duel, but it's very hard, especially for teams, to get into those hitting derbies. There's another one just off the corner. 3rd straight full count pitch. This time to Carter Rice. Rice, a guy who came in hitting .355, 11 hits in 31 at-bats, but no hits so far. But he will reach base for the first time on the full count walk.
Yeah, Clark just lost another 3-2 count. He'll get a talk from his Bearcat, Parker Griffith, just trying to regain some of that composure. Only 1 out, looking to try and keep this an 11-run ball game, and in that 10-run regime, he's like, hey, we could go out to dinner after this. If you can come out of this, giving up no runs, maybe we can get out of here early, go play some video games, you know.
Might want to stay for fireworks, though. There is fireworks tonight at Phil Welch for all the fans. Definitely know Frank Gall mentioned it, Michael, the great crowd on hand tonight. It's just a great community here in St. Joe. Even for all of you watching right now on YouTube, you are part of that Mustang Nation, as we have dubbed it. But now runners at 1st and 2nd. The 3-hole hitter, Dalton Miller. He's put a couple of balls in the air, but both have been snagged by Logan Miller out in center. Clark with 2 walks, and then he came in those 5 innings with only 1 walk. So command, and that may be having not pitched in a week.
Something may have gotten in the way of that. I know pitcher routines are so keen for any pitcher, whether that is a starter every 5 days or a bullpen arm.
You know, it could be his last golf round yesterday. Was trying to shoot at an 80, shot an 85. Him and Guck were actually battling the whole day yesterday, and Guck ended up coming away with the shot an 80. Guck shot an 80. Clark came away with an 85. He said he didn't really get the job done in the last 3 holes.
Sometimes the saying is true. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Finish.
Dalton Miller plays his baseball for the Roadrunners of State Fair. In 32 games this past spring, he hit .430, 34 hits and 79 at-bats, drew 17 walks, 9 doubles, a triple, couple bombs, 19 runs driven in. So far tonight, it's only been 1 run driven in. That was by Ethan Kruger all the way back what feels like forever ago in the 2nd inning. That 2-2 just got a piece of it. Was Miller. Just nicked it off the end of the bat. Might have caught Griffith. Might have caught our home plate umpire too, but it's always one, especially with those 2-piece masks, you know, can clip one part of the mask and, you know, dislodge it, but that's kind of the new norm now, those 2-piece masks.
Extra, you know, just that extra layer of protection. You know, definitely think about trying to keep everyone safe behind the plate. A lot of those balls can come out pretty quick off the bat.
Still 2-2 as Clark looking to battle his way out here in the 6th. Couple ducks on the pond for Sedalia. That curveball popped up. Shallow right field. Bodenhausen out, and he will make the basket catch. Bodenhausen took control as it was a long run for Lukehart. As Miller is retired for the 3rd time, and now there are 2 outs for the cleanup hitter, Connor Rice.
Just a nice out there. Clark just put the off speed in a spot where Miller just couldn't get some hands around, and what a catch made by Bodenhausen at second. Just the over-the-shoulder basket catch, one of the hardest to make in baseball. Made it look too easy for the 2nd out.
This defense continues to play behind Mustangs pitching as Mustangs lead the Mink with a .962 fielding percentage. Don't necessarily have the least amount of errors. They are second to Clorinda, who has 12. Mustangs have committed 15 over 11 games. None committed here tonight, so over 12 games. But one of the underrated aspects of baseball, being able to field the ball cleanly, because not every night your pitcher's going to have a 20 strikeout game. So much more confidence for a pitcher when your defense is playing behind you, making plays for you.
And 100% to that, you know. Pitchers get that confidence boost, and they also just want to throw more strikes because they're not afraid, and they know that that defense behind them, you know, they can handle a ball coming off the bat if they do catch the zone, but it just gives pitchers that extra option with their pitches, not to try to avoid the zone, but they can start attacking it if they know, and definitely with the way these Mustangs defense has been, I can tell that these pitchers want to attack more, but Clark needs to start attacking that zone a little more here.
Does attack it, keeps this at bat alive. Just one of those things, you know, personal stats are always nice, but at the end of the day, it's for the team. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Clark right here, you know, a run or 2 doesn't hurt you. Again, it might hurt your personal stats, but just coming in here trying to knock off that rust of not having pitched for a week, as there is the double steal. Swung on and missed. Griffith's going to go to second, and that's going to kick off the bag into center. So Sedalia will score their 2nd run as the double steal works as Vickers steals 3rd, advances home on the E2.
Just an unfortunate situation there. A double steal worked to perfection. Griffith really wanted the out at second, just off the glove of Bodenhausen.
He had a chance as Rice was not going on the pitch like Vickers was. That's something you see. It was not a traditional double steal, and you will see catchers just have that sense with their middle infielders to back pick and stealing out by picking off the guy who has having to react to the runner in front of him.
Only the first error of the night for the Mustangs.
There's the third walk of the inning now issued by Clark. He's walked both Rice brothers. Now Clark will get a visit at the mound. It's not the normal Andrew Clark we're used to seeing. Struggled with command here tonight, but just one out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's, like you said, just trying to regain some of that control, get that confidence back. I just think he hasn't been wanting to attack the zone as much as I think he can. I think he definitely has the arsenal and the pitch types to be able to do it. I mean, I've seen the changeup a couple of times. It's on. He's just really got to play it well. He's just got to trust that arm. I think that's the main thing. Clark's got to come out here ready to lose nothing, you know, just trying to get that one more out. I just want him to attack Kruger here all out. I want to see him throw hard. I want to see him just try some pitches in some spots maybe he hasn't this inning. See if that maybe works, because I don't know about you, Truman, but in the game of baseball, trying something just a small and minusculely different can maybe change your whole game.
It is Ethan Kruger who walked and scored a run back in the second and grounded to third. Only had 52 at-bats at St. Cloud State, but ended his year on a 5-game hitting streak. 12 hits and 52 at-bats, good for a .231 average. 3 of those hits were long balls. He also drove in 10 runs. Kruger back on Tuesday was 1 for 4 in that matchup back in Sedalia at Liberty Park against these Mustangs. He had 2 strikeouts. Sedalia had 6 hits on Tuesday. They sit at 2 right here. First and third, 2 outs, top 6. 1 already home in the inning. Now Andrew Clark has Kruger down 2-2.
Nice change up there from Clark. Saw it once again, and I just love that. I love that comeback pitch from him. You know, he not allowing another bomber to get ahead in the count. Now evens it out at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now it'll be full, so Connor Rice will be off from first on the pitch. Looking to get a good jump. Potentially with a base hit. Take the extra base. Full count offering outside, and it gets past Griffith. So Rice will score, making it 12-3, trying to get to third. Like I said, is Connor Rice. So Rice all the way up to third. And the other Rice, Carter, scores. And it's another walk issued by Andrew Clark.
Just lost the control on that. 3-2 was trying to get too cute on the outside part of the plate. Griffith just couldn't get over there in time as it was way out. That allowed Rice and to come around.
This is now Sam Russo, Southwest Missouri native. Singled his last time up. One of the 2 hits the Bombers have on the evening. business major over in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Is that one ground to the left side and through. Third run home, making it 12-4, first hit of the inning. Sam Russo tallies his second hit and first RBI.
That was beautiful. I mean, took the outside pitch right up into left field with Rice right at 90 feet away. I mean, just an easy run there for the Bombers. And now 2 runs in the inning. There'll be 3 runs in the inning gifted to Andrew Clark, but right now just trying to get himself out with only 1 out remaining.
3 runs on 1 hit and 4 walks. Also throwing an E2 and a wild pitch in there. It's now Caden Paxton. He's at first base now. He's way out in front of a changeup there. Might also be one of those things, you know, experimenting with a pitch like that. You're trying to throw it more, which inadvertently might, again, it's not a perfect pitch yet. That's why you're using it in a game. So unfortunately, it's not getting the result you want. That one is drilled to left field. On comes to make the diving play is Trevor McCollum. Gets Clark out of the jam, but not before the Bombers put up a 3 spot in the top of the 6th here as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Your Mustangs lead's been cut to 8 at 12-4 as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. Bottom 6 here at Phil Welch. The Bombers scratched across 3 against Andrew Clark in the top half of the inning. It will be the top half of the lineup in Logan Miller to get your Mustangs started as we continue our theme of guests as we welcome into the booth one of your 2025 Mustangs interns, Thomas Raymond.
Hello. Hello.
Thomas, how you doing tonight?
You know, we're winning, so I'm happy about that. But, you know, it's a little slow. You know, it's a slow night. It's a slow night.
Sedalia pitching has struggled with walks, especially in these middle half of the innings. As Miller rips one on the ground to short. Kruger couldn't handle it, and Miller will reach on the E6 as that ball just ate Kruger up.
Buddy's looking like Fernando Tatis out there, dude. That was not good.
So tell us, you know, you are on an intern, but you mainly do photography and videography for the team. Is that correct?
Yeah, so if you come to a Stangs game and you see out on our little video board basically everything that we've got going on there, that's pretty much me. That's kind of what I did. I got here super early, like stupid early, but thank God I did, because if we didn't, our video board would have been blank and not looking too hot. Got Darius up here at the dish. Let's see. Ball outside. Sounds like heard a lot of balls outside all night. But, you know, do a lot of the graphics work, which is pretty fun. I did that Top Gun thing. Pitcher set. Ball outside.
Thomas is taking over for my duties. But, Thomas, you also created that when you come to a Mustangs game, the hype video that plays before the Mustangs starters are introduced.
I did, yeah. It's pretty awesome. You know, went downtown, did some stuff there. Ball. Oh, runner.
Miller's going to second, and he's in there with a stolen base. 8th stolen base for Logan Miller on the year.
At least this guy's catching it. Last night was pretty bad. So I hang out in the dugout, do a lot of our photo and video. I actually got, we got a bench warning. It's because of me, because the catcher just couldn't catch, and I yelled job description, and the umpire goes, bench jockey, foul ball. Did you? Oh, we got some roof damage. Let's hear it, coach.
Call A1 Roofing.
A1 Roofing.
A1 Roofing in the St. Joseph area. Not sure if it's it's a local company, but yeah, if you ever have roof damage, A1 Roofing is where it's at.
I mean, I don't know if they're at, but, you know, I would assume so.
They're here. They're here.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh,
and that
did
one
you?
Popped up, but not going to travel far into shallow right. On comes to make the grab. Will be Munch to retire Freeman. But talking about that, I mean, I guess for people at home, photographers like that can get warnings from umpires. You know, they can get involved a little bit in the game. Maybe not needed involvement, but
they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to. But you know, you're around the guys a lot. You know, we had Frank Gall up here a couple innings ago. We had Michael and Franca up last inning. You know, talk about this team. I mean, they seem to be a very fun group to be around. What has your experience been being around the guys?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, they're a good group of guys. I mean, they know that they're all pretty solid players. I mean, they love coming to the Welch. They love to fill the Welch, or field the Welch. But it's like you know, they're guys that aren't going to be playing college ball next year. Oh, ball. And they're coming back because they love the Stangs, and you know, roll Stangs. Here we go.
That is what Frank said. Frank said, you know, he enjoys playing college, but he is always looking forward to that summer once the calendar turns to May. He knows it's ever so close to being able to play out here at Phil Welch. That one line to right. Lukart, sliding play made by Munch, and he will
Are you kidding?
double up Miller, but they got to finish it, and they do. Thomas, you want to hang around for the next half inning, and we didn't get much.
I mean, might as well. We're not going for
Might
a
as
run
well,
right
but
now.
Inning with a sour ending as the
Hi, Dad.
9-6-4 double play ends the inning. We'll be back with the top half of the 7th, final third of the game here on a nice Saturday evening in St. Joe. New arm out on the mound for your Mustangs in his 4th appearance. It's Diego de Santiago. So far, 3 innings, has yet to give up a run, 6 Ks, and only 1 walk, and has not given up any hits. His opponent's still with a big fat 0 on the scoreboard. He takes over for Andrew Clark, who gave up 3 runs on 1 hit, 4 walks. Did have a strikeout last inning, but still in the booth with us is 2025 Mustangs intern Thomas Raymond, you might see him if you come to a game. Got his big camera, all his camera equipment. Does a lot of stuff with Mizzou baseball.
Yes, I love it.
Definitely know you got to travel for that. I mean, do you have a favorite Mizzou baseball member getting to take photos?
Yes. So we played Florida last year. I think they were ranked 5th in the country. Oh, yeah, by the way. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. You know, they were ranked 5th in the country, I think. We were hosting them at home. Walked off the first game against them. That was pretty awesome. You know, we could have settled with that. Then we went and won the second game. And that was awesome. That was great. You know, won a series against number 5 team in the country, Yahoo. And then it's like, all right, let's go sweep them. And Jack Caglione, now up with the Royals, he pitch. Ooh. Oh, they call us, wow, thanks. Strike,
There's a
by the
first
way.
pitch strike from DeSantiago. Going to run it up on velo a little bit, so.
Yeah. But Caglione was starting because he was a pitcher back then. You know, solid. Ooh. Right by you. Caglione, good SEC pitcher. He was their Sunday guy. We ended up putting 8 runs on him, I think, in 3 innings. And I was over by their dugout when he gets pulled. And,
That's a quick 1-2-3 strikeout. Munch, who made the double play on the nice sliding grab, tried to check his swing, but he went too far, and it's 1 quick out.
sword. But, you know, Cags gets pulled, and I hear a big thud. And I'm like, huh? And I realize, it's his glove getting thrown. I was like, uh-oh. And I hear a certain obscenity that I can't say or else we'll get in trouble with the FCC. And then next thing I know, I hear bang, bang, bang.
Did he assault a
Yes.
cooler? He assaulted
no, not a cooler,
oh.
no. So we have, like, these, like, flat folding tables that, you know, the players or the visiting teams can put their food on. Oh, that's popped up. Did you?
Jaden Little over to the dugout.
Get legs, ball.
And it's out of play.
And he destroyed one of these folding tables in 3 swoops. Just like, you know, just.
He
bang,
seems
bang,
like
bang.
a pretty jacked dude.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
seeing pictures, never, you know.
No, he destroyed that thing, and then we ended up sweeping him. And Coach Sullivan sat in their dugout with doing the surrender cobra by himself for 20 minutes. Sword.
That
No
one right in
way.
front of the
No
plate.
way, right?
And Parker
Wow.
Griffith just tags out Lance Vickers, who is just standing still in the right-hand batter's box with a look of disbelief. I don't know what he's trying to plead. That ball was clearly in fair
I mean,
territory.
you're not wrong, right?
And it's going to be an easy unassisted 2. One of the rare unassisted 2s will go down in the scorebook.
He's getting a little chippy over there. I mean, what else are they going to do? They're down. Let's do some math. 8. But Diego's probably going, bro, that guy's beat. Oh, that
Now-
swing was beat.
Back to the top of the order, and Jaden Roberts, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Now,
He's 0 for 3. How many
He's-
other guys are 0 for 3? I'm not surprised.
three guys so far for Sedalia are 0 for 3.
Hang the banner.
Everyone else has actually managed, after the last inning, a walk or one of the guys who has gotten a hit.
So, yeah, this is actually my debut doing any broadcasting. I actually went to Mizzou because I thought I wanted to do, like, sports broadcasting. I'm in the J
Yeah, I was
school
going to
there.
ask, what did it look like to become videographer, photographer? Like, was that always a passion of yours, or was that something you...
It was something I got into because I wasn't, like, well...
No, we'll stay here. We can stay here. We'll stay
why
here
not?
through the half inning as Logan Miller catches it once again, and Diego DeSantiago works a 1-2-3 inning. But no, as both teams switch sides, how did you get into videography, photography?
My high school did like a advanced level, like, I guess like a course called Ignite. Like they had like stuff where like business and like aviation, like you would like go out and work for companies and like get experience, and you like take like college level courses. So I did digital media, and you had to do like a full like semester long project for the second semester on like something. And I was like, I mean, I would go out and shoot some of like my high school basketball and baseball and football games, and I was like, might as well keep doing it. And I already worked for a minor league baseball team, so I had as a bat boy, which was great experience, like being a clubby. It was phenomenal. But you know, I was like, just kept me in the game. I mean, you know, was not phenomenal at baseball, but I was able to stick with the game, and yeah. But I initially went to Mizzou, you know, still doing the photo and video stuff, and I was going to do like broadcasting. So I was like, because my godfather actually, Ross Porter, and he was with the Dodgers, one of their broadcasters for, I think, about 30 years. And, you know, he's from Shawnee, Oklahoma. He's got that old twang, but he went to Oklahoma. I almost went to Oklahoma, but, you know, ended up at Mizzou still. So I love that. But, you know, when I told him that I was going to do that, he was so excited and everything. But then I started getting to the more photo and video side, and it's just more of my passion, you know. Yeah. I always like to take the pictures that, like, you know, a player's mom's gonna see and be like, that's like they'll print it out and put it on their mantle. Like, those are the pictures that I like. I mean, you can always get yard card Dom Felix hitting a bomb, but
Dom Felix is leading off this inning.
What are we doing here? What's going on? Are we chirp? It's the same dude. He's chirping him. It was the guy that had that weird little check swing.
Appears maybe a warning has been issued or someone has been thrown out.
Is it a new catcher? It might be. Is it a new catcher maybe?
Nope, still Vickers behind the plate and still Ryan Retone on the mound. Dom Felix so far today, he's been hit twice. He also walked and has scored a run. 0 for 1 because he struck out his first time up.
Yeah, Dom shaved a few times yesterday. He started off the Fu Manchu, then went to
and that one ripped into the gap. And how far will Felix run? All the way up against the wall. Roberts has it. And Dom will trot into second base with a stand-up double.
Yeet, yeet, yeet. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Let's do that 2 more times. Oh, wait, can we walk this off? Uh-oh, I'm going to run out of here.
Mustangs need 2 runs to enter the run rule, but Thomas, if you have to go,
yeah,
I thank you for joining us. That has been Thomas Raymond, one of your 2025 Mustangs interns.
You'll probably see me running down the stairs here in a second. See ya.
So if you ever see him at Film Welch, come and say hi, you know. Also be sure, photos, videos get posted to Twitter at the SJ Mustangs and Facebook at the St. Joseph Mustangs as Jack Moss swinging first pitch. Pops it up to Kruger at short for the first out. But Jackson, good to have you back. It was a night that, one of those nights that it was just nice to be able to, a Saturday night Hawaiian shirt giveaway, just nice to have some guests up here in the booth for once. Hadn't done that yet. I mean, we hadn't done a pregame show, so the first pre-recorded pregame show of the year graced your screens before the actual broadcast got started. But you know, we had some guests, so especially you viewers at home, let us know in the comments what players maybe we'd like us to try to get up here. Maybe other interns if you want to, you know, see what it's like being a St. Joseph Mustangs intern. I'm definitely enjoying it so far this summer. I mean,
it's been a blast.
So many different intern jobs. I mean, a lot of behind the scenes of those photos that get posted online, other content on all platforms, but especially here at YouTube. Go check out the rest of the Mustangs content. Reading with Rally, Jackson's podcast, like he mentioned, Andrew Clark's player vlog. We've also got mic'd up moments courtesy of Charlie Samples. That one lined to center off the bat of McCollum. He was looking for another double. Instead, he lines out to center. Now it's 2 outs here in the 7th.
You know, I've been having a blast as well, Truman, and it was funny you mentioned that, you know, tonight's the first night we've been doing this play interviews. Me and you kind of had a little conversation last night about, like, what could we do to bring some more, you know, pizzazz to this broadcast for our viewers at home. And it was just randomly, said, let's get more involved with the team and everyone around. And it was fun. I like doing it, and I would love to do it again. So, yeah, like Truman said, if you guys have any interns that you want, that'll be issued a Bach. If you guys want any more interns or players on the stream, let us know. We're going to be happy to get them up here.
This team is definitely a community-first centered team. And, you know, it's not always. Sometimes you can only make it to 1 or 2 games. You might not get to, you know, just say hi to your favorite players. So getting to hear from them, hear about their experiences, not only with the Mustangs here, but also, you know, their college life, what they do in their free time, stuff like that. But so it is now Parker Griffith at the dish. Griffith reached on an error. Has been hit by a pitch. He's also reached on a fielder's choice and popped to second. So yet to record a hit, but has driven in 3 runs.
Solid season overall for Griffith. With a runner 90 feet away, just trying to get some more runs on the board. for these Mustangs.
And that one line just foul down that left field line. Now Retone has 2 strikes and is 1 strike away from sending us to the 8th. Retone, not a normal pitcher, getting his first outing on the mound tonight. He has 23 at-bats this season, only 3 hits. Tonight he graces the mound here at legendary and historic Phil Welch.
Another beautiful night, Truman. Good showing from the fans as well.
Waiting for fireworks here at the end as Retone took a couple steps off the mound. Thought that may have been strike 3 and said the count is now full. Jaden Little on deck, who's had himself quite a night. Bases clearing triple in the 3rd, and then a trio of walks. And Little will get a chance to hit. It's a 2-out walk to Griffith.
It's a good at-bat from Griffith, and a 2-strike count worked it all the way up to a walk. Runners on the corners, Little just trying to get something going here and in hopes to get a run rule victory once again for these Mustangs.
Jane Little does get a chance to swing it. He scored 2 runs. Like I said, that huge bases clearing triple in the 3rd to go along with his 3 walks. A very, very nice night for Little, who came in only 5 for 25.
Yeah, slow start for him this year, but he's really been blossoming into a really productive hitter so far for the Mustangs, and this, especially this week. I mean, he's definitely shown some of his true colors at the plate.
See if Little can line one here in a gap and score Griffith and end this game early. That was an end the game kind of swing, but he fouls it behind him. That one popped to center. Little just tosses the bat aside. In comes Roberts, and we will head to the 8th. Mustangs strand a pair and unable to capitalize with 1st and 3rd. As we're headed to the 8th here at Phil Welch. Mustangs still lead 12-8, 12-4. Gage Busby takes over for Diego De Santiago, worked a perfect 7th. Busby in his 4th appearance, 5 innings pitched, still yet to give up a run. 5 strikeouts to 4 walks. Has struggled a little bit with command, but has yet to hurt him as opponents only batting .062. So Jackson, yet another arm out of this Mustang pen that continues to shove when his name is called upon.
I mean, last outing against the Monarchs with 2 innings pitched, allowed 2 strikeouts, no hits, no runs, and just the 1 walk. So yeah, Busby, I mean, these Mustangs really love to have him, as he is a recent commit to my Northwest Missouri State Bearcats. And a good reason to do it. I mean, Busby really comes in and he does shove, and he does shove some donuts on the boards when he comes in. Still under 0 on the ERA. He's a lengthy guy. He definitely has that type of wingspan to really get around his fastballs pretty quick. It'll give the Bombers some type of issues here with Busby with his tall frame.
Busby transfers to Northwest from Missouri Western. He appeared in 3 games this past spring, 6 innings, 1.50 ERA, opponents batting under 200. It's his first year with the Stangs. Gets the 2-3-4 hitters. Here for the Bombers in the 8th, it'll be Rice, Miller, and the other Rice. This is Carter Rice. He walked back in the 6th and came around to score a run. As we get a look at the future schedules for both these clubs, like we said throughout this broadcast, your Mustangs head out on their first true road trip. Tomorrow they'll be in Clarinda for the first time, facing the A's in a rematch of last year's Mink League Championship. Then Monday in Nevada, Tuesday in Sedalia, Wednesday in Chillicothe, before heading back to Phil Welch for a 3-game homestand next week against the North Missouri Naturals, the Jeff City Renegades, and the Carroll Merchants. As that one lined off the glove of Busby. And it's an easy toss over to Lil at first. Heads up play by Busby to prevent the single and instead get the out.
Just another nice play by these pitchers on the pitcher's mound. I mean, that thing was ripped. Likely a single if it missed Busby, but Busby with that tall frame, like I just mentioned, was just able to get that leather on it and knock it down. And a nice way to just get back on the ball and flip it over. It's a little in time. Just a nice play by Busby. Good reaction as well.
As for these Bombers, they will head home for tomorrow night against Nevada, Monday night against Jeff City, and then, like we said, Tuesday night against St. Joe before a weekend road trip Wednesday back in Jeff City, Friday up in Clarinda, and Saturday in Chillicothe. What's on tap for the Bombers this next week? It is Dalton Miller, 0 for 3 tonight. Busby clips the outside corner. Very long pitching stride and pitching motion from Busby, and he likes to pound that outside corner when he can.
Went right back to it, back-to-back times on that outside half. Like I said, that release kind of coming over the side, but he still likes to get it over the top with his big frame. It's really hard for these hitters to see it come out of the hands all the way. This
time he tries to drop that changeup in. Miller does not offer at it. Busby, another guy who'll lean on his fastball and let his breaking pitches do the complimentary stuff. His fastball is that steak. His other pitches are the fries and the corn. As that one grounded under the glove of Felix. Tried to get it on the short hop. Dalton Miller will break the offer on his line with a single.
Just a hard hit ball off the bat of Miller. And Felix right off the ground. I mean, that thing had a nasty hop. And Felix tried to pick it. He had a good chance to do that. But it just snuck right underneath that glove on the hop. And Miller on first, trying to get some more runs plated late in this game for the Bombers.
It's a tough play for Felix. Tried to get it on a short hop. Unable to. Now that one, sky to right, in comes Lukehart, out goes Bodenhausen, and Bodenhausen drops it in fair territory. But he will throw to Mosh for the unique 4-6 fielder's choice to get the second out and cut down Miller. Thought Bodenhausen almost made another fantastic basket catch, but that one just clanked off the heel of his glove, but he was able to remain composed and still get the out.
I mean, going back to what you just said, I mean, that was just a great effort from him. Tried to get the basket in there, just fell out of the, looked like his right hand is off glove side, but just a great throw. I mean, that thing was almost a little high for Mosh to deal with, but making that throw all the way from the foul line all the way to second on the money in time is really impressive and should be taken note of for that second out.
It's now Ethan Kruger, 2 walks on his line tonight. Has also scored a run. There's another one, shallow right, over is Lukart. And he'll dive, and he can't grab it. And it goes up against the fence. Connor Rice around third. He will score, and it's an RBI double for Ethan Kruger.
Just put it in play. That thing hung up for a while over on that right field foul line. Lukart was given a good chase, put a great effort all the way out. Full extension mode, just could not get it in the glove, and unluckily just fell in that fair line. And yet another late game run here for these Bombers.
Great placement on the hit by Kruger, tucking it right down that right field foul line in fair territory as it now extends the inning. For Sam Russo, who's 2 for 3 tonight, 2 singles to his name and an RBI. He's definitely one of the hotter hitters for Sedalia tonight. They have cut the lead down to 7, but only have 4 outs to work with.
Yeah, it's getting time to crunch time. Still a 7-run lead for these Mustangs, but in the last 3 innings, 4 runs have come across. That's the last one was back in the second, so definitely late game, these Bombers are starting to wake up.
Russo adds to his team-leading total with now 14 hits on the season. Also at his 3rd RBIs, he's first pitch swinging. Felix over to grab it, way over in the shortstop position. And this time, Dom Felix makes the play to retire the side. Bombers do get a run, though. Cut the lead to 7 as we're headed to the bottom of the 8th here at Phil Welch.